I think that you could prove the theory of relativity by just taking a kid to the zoo. And let me tell you what I mean. I took the baby to the zoo last week for her birthday because we said, where do you want to go for her birthday? And because it was fucking COVID last year and she had a shitty birthday because she didn't get to go anywhere that she wanted to go, we wanted to make it special. So
Did she bring that up a lot?
No, she doesn't.
Okay.
It's guilt.
I was just curious.
It's parent guilt.
We might get COVID again, so it's all good.
Yeah. So she said she wanted to see dinosaurs and she wanted to see animals. So we took her to the zoo and then we took her to the Natural History Museum.
Awesome.
Stayed in D.C. It was a decent enough time. Walked 12 miles, which is good because it's getting the kids, I think, a little bit good. They need some conditioning. But if we get to do Disney, they need some conditioning.
Yeah.
But for the way that I rock anyway, because we're going to get it done.
Dude,
Nice one, bro.
Yeah.
Will you vlog the whole thing?
No.
dude, that would be awesome.
What if I pay to send Phil just to document the whole thing?
I'll do it if he's paying. Dude, I'll sleep with the gators.
I'm sure.
Wear a GoPro. You'll be good.
Yes. So.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, this is good. Why do I feel like Joe is always low?
I was fine when you just turned. There's just something. Yep.
There we go.
There we go. You found it.
So, the reason why I say that is because I took her when I was at the zoo. I would see animals that looked fucking. These orangutans looked fucking miserable.
I mean, that's why I hate zoos now. As a kid, I liked them, and as I get older,
That's what I'm getting to. So I was looking at them and I was fucking bummed out.
Yep.
Yeah,
like.
man.
Fucking and now don't get me wrong, some of the animals having a fucking blast.
the dumb ones.
I don't know, like are pandas dumb?
Yeah,
I guess
fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Pandas are
they're
If you
not.
left
They're
them to their own
not.
devices, they'll be fucking extinct.
Yeah,
they're idiots.
Yeah, they're not fucking. They
don't know how to fuck.
Yes,
Well,
they're
they're
not
probably
fucking.
inbred so far that's what we've got.
They practice abstinence. They're abstinencing themselves out of existence.
Good. Obviously, we didn't need them in the first place.
But so anyway, they were out and about having a good time. There was a few animals that was out and about having a good time, but the baby. Fucking loving it.
Oh, yeah.
And meanwhile I'm like almost in tears and like I'm ready to sign up for the Wildlife Foundation and all this shit.
The gorillas always get me when they want to sit right by the glass and
just
look
at you.
Yeah,
They I know I'm in here.
Because that animal's intelligent enough to realize what's going on.
How much time you get?
Oh, God.
But yeah, so it was good. We did that. That's why the Nerd Rage episodes. Like a lot of people hit us up and was like, "Are you guys gonna talk about this He-Man shit going on?" And I was like, "Yes, it couldn't have come at a worse time." Because I was out of town. I was out of town for that week, so we spaced it out so that you guys would have content, but we were a week behind. So this week we should be caught up, and then we should be good moving forward, at least for a little while. So with that, Chris, you got your coffee first. Joe, how was your Nerd Week?
I thought we already talked about everything before the show.
Yeah, we did. We did talk about a fair amount, to be fair.
Let me see. Well, I watched all of Loki in one day.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Well, there's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, but like, do you ever sit down and watch 6 episodes at once?
I did. He-Man.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't end up getting to it. I
Yeah.
want to watch it with Melissa. I was like, I just couldn't care enough, I guess. But I still want to watch it at some point. But yeah, no, I love Loki because like I went in with extra low expectations too because like Pinkerton said it was okay. And you didn't like it, but I should know better that you don't like anything. So that shouldn't change my.
I liked He-Man.
You like He-Man? Okay. I have to. Maybe I'll hate it.
Maybe you will. But I'll tell you, I do want to talk about this a little bit. I can't talk too much about the show because I think the show's completely forgettable, and I have forgotten all of it except that there's a space-time cops and they are doing space-time cop shit.
But it was all a sham. Kind of.
What I have come to the conclusion of is I am done forgiving mediocrity. And I think I've been forgiving.
I'm out.
Me too, because like my whole life is mediocre.
Right.
And I think I've been forgiving mediocrity because it's Marvel. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to skip a little bit to my nerd week, just a little bit. Mm-hmm. I watched season 1 of The Boys this week, like really gave it a watch, as opposed to before, and I was just like, God damn, man, 6 fucking episodes all at once. I got to split them up over 3 months. And I also came to another conclusion, side note, about why binging is not good for me because binging.
Who is that? Binging?
Is
that a kid?
No,
Oh,
bin-
is that a kid
Benjamin.
from school?
the dog Benji. He went on adventures and he tried to help.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes, that fucking dog.
That dog was
Wow,
trash.
that takes me back.
Trash.
Because if I am left to my own devices, so to speak, I don't know when to stop.
Yeah, I mean that's why I don't stop.
So I continue, but I tap out. I fall asleep. And then I get exhausted trying to figure out where I was. And then I start to throw in the towel. That's just something I learned.
Yeah,
In
different
recently.
lifestyle, different personality.
Yeah.
because I don't fall asleep well in the first place.
So neither do I, unless I'm not in my head. If I'm on a show, that's when I get to fall asleep.
That's why I used to back in the day. I don't know if you still have it. Back in the day on the CRT TVs, like with the remote, you can like put on like
Rain.
turn it off in 30 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Oh, okay.
Snooze.
Yeah.
Snooze.
I
or-
never
or not
fucking-
Yeah, the sleep function.
Yeah.
Never fucking slept with no TV on as much as I can help it because I can't.
Yeah. So I watching The Boys, I was like, this is fucking great. This is fucking great. Great acting, great storytelling, compelling characters, shot cinematically, fucking real life consequences, real stakes. I'm invested in these fucking characters and I barely know them. This is fucking great. Meanwhile, Scarlet Vision, Hawkeye and Winter Soldier, whatever, Hawkman, Falcon,
Falcon was so-
and Winter Soldier.
Wow.
And what's this other shit?
Loki.
And others. To be fair, I think because I'm a fan of the genre, and because
Are you though?
aren't I?
I don't know anymore
Why?
because you don't like anything.
Except for the stuff I do.
Wow. Valid point.
You know?
He wins, Joe. He wins.
I think I like far more of it than I don't.
Okay, what have you liked lately other than the Boys?
Snyder Cut.
Snyder Cut, I
love
loved.
that.
I think maybe you're just looking for very specific things or something.
The Boys.
That's what I just said. Other than
Yeah, I did.
You haven't watched Invincible yet, right?
I watched some. I'm not into cartoons, man.
See,
I'm
I'm
fucking.
not-
I got
like-
shit to do.
It's very like, you know what I mean, like just like that. Like it's very specific in what you like anymore. Like I can't. There's no way for me to explain it. I always say I don't know what you're looking for out of entertainment because I just look for entertainment and I'm entertained.
I liked He-Man. Loved it.
But I have to see.
And
it
that was a
to,
cartoon.
Yeah.
and I have to see it to.
So that's my thing is that if I'm watching
To judge.
He-Man and I get wrapped up in it and invested in it and involved in it, and I'm watching Invincible and I'm not, but I'm continuing to put myself through it just to see it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I cannot pinpoint. Like there are people in general. You can generalize kind of what they like and don't like. I can't do that with you at all. With nerd shit anyway.
Yeah.
At all. I know you like old shit. That's about it.
Well, and
Like shit like from the 80s.
and The Boys, which is very recent.
No. I mean, like for me to be able to say, like, if what does Bobby like? I don't know. I know he like 80s stuff. Like, but like to tell somebody what kind of
What
things
80s stuff do I like?
like all the shit on the shelves.
But I mean, I don't like the Transformers cartoon now.
No, but you're a fan of it.
I'm a
like
fan of it
yeah.
from my childhood and of those
Right.
aspects.
And you don't like the new movies
but I'm not
and-
going to watch those shows
no,
now. Like,
no, but I know that you like them. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yes, I like those characters.
I can't say what I know and what I know you like and don't like anymore, other than like what I already know from the past that you liked. Like, there's no way for me to guess what's coming out that you might or might not like.
I like that.
I
like that.
He's
It's
keeping
like-
you on your
it's like-
toes.
like that.
I there's no way for me to tell because like when I see something and I'm like, yeah, I fucking enjoyed it, I entertain it, and like, I guess Bobby won't. Or maybe Bobby will. You know, like
So-
for other people, I can guess whether they might like where it falls on the spectrum. For you, like I have no fucking idea with nerd shit anymore.
I love that. I like that. I like that it's not predictable. And I
But
wish
it's like
that more of this
erratic and crazy.
Yeah, but I think that
Because
like
I don't know what you're looking for. It's like imagine buying someone a present that you have no idea. Like not that I'm going to buy a present because I'm not, but
yeah,
it's like it's that feeling like really being really fucking like perplexed.
I think that I'm looking for see, it's hard.
Like,
It's hard.
I don't. I think I just don't see what you see in certain things that aren't present in other things.
Guys, what is art?
It's hard.
I mean, that is what that is.
I think it's hard to have. I think it's hard to have a discussion like this and not use super relative terms, right? Like I want unique stories that are engaging, and that's why I loved the first 4 episodes of WandaVision. But the moment it became more tropey and more like good vision, bad vision,
I mean, is Snyder Cut unique in the story?
yeah, for superhero films.
For superhero films, not a superhero story.
But that's what I'm only talking about the film.
Oh, just
yeah.
I don't, because it wasn't unique to me at all. It's like nothing out of the ordinary there
I mean,
for me.
I think I don't even think that's I can't even fathom how you could say that. Just the template of it is incredibly different. It's first of all it's an R rating, which is just so tonally it's different.
No, Deadpool's R rating.
Length is different. What was rated R?
I said Deadpool was rated R.
And Deadpool was also different. Deadpool is not like Black Widow.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't see it. That is yes, but it's still a fucking superhero movie. At the end of the day, it's still the same to me.
There is, but there's a vast difference between
There's super people with superpowers. There's a
There's
bad
a-
guy at the end.
there's a-
fight, and
yes,
there's maybe plot twist sometimes.
there
with
is,
a
but it's vastly
backstory.
different between The Dark Knight and Christopher Reeve's Superman. You know what I mean? Like they're not remotely close to each other.
The vibe's different. Well, Batman, the difference is Batman was shot, or I think Batman is made to not really be a superhero movie because it's not
That one-
And I think that's the best superhero movie.
Yeah,
the
that's
ones that are not.
That's different. Batman is different because the fact that it's a regular ass movie, but
Okay.
people are wearing weird suits.
I think Christopher Reeve's Superman is vastly different than Endgame.
Okay, that could be a genre difference. I mean, an age difference too. But like,
Well, that's what I'm saying is that they're not all
like,
the same.
I
Just
don't think Christopher Reeve's Superman and Man of Steel from a few years back is that much different.
I don't. I do.
I think they're totally different.
Yeah, they're tonally.
They are totally different, but they're not.
They're tonally different. The acting is different. The approach is different.
But every movie, in that sense, then every movie is fucking different.
Yeah, no, because like I think Man of Steel and BV, I think actually closer probably would be BVS and Snyder Cut. I think are tonally similar. Like,
Well, yeah,
you know,
it's
like,
supposed to be. It's a
yeah.
continuation of the story.
So like I don't think that you could just say that about everything. I think that there are stuff that seems similar and there is stuff that seems different. I think a lot of the Marvel movies are very similar. I think the ones that end up standing out are usually the ones that are very different, including Endgame, which I'm not a fan of, but I think it stands out because it is different. Like I think the fact that
What? What's the matter?
dude,
What?
I've been missing a mask. And I just found it
found
in
it
my
in your
pocket. I think
Bobby finds shit on the stove.
I think
Quick aside.
I think that like the fact that like you know, and I've talked about it 1,000 times, but like there's so many Marvel movies, for instance, where the good version of the character fights the bad version of the character in the opening film, and I think that even like it's more rare to find where that's not the case. I guess First Avenger is not the case. And who was the bad guy in Thor? Thor probably wasn't the case.
Yeah,
Was it?
'cause
Who was the bad guy in Thor?
Loki.
Oh no, that is the
No,
case.
kind of. For the first Thor, it was the.
It's like a big. There was a machine in Main Street or a big monster.
Oh,
I mean,
the
he's
Destroyer.
the
he wasn't the bad
Destroyer.
guy though.
Yeah,
right?
he wasn't the bad guy. He was just
He was
a
the guy
tool.
you fight. Yeah.
Right, he was the mid boss.
He was the Destroyer to bring Thor back into being.
Yeah, but
Thor.
who got to fuck him?
Yeah,
Who was the bad guy? Who was the villain of that story?
That was.
That
that
him?
was the final fight. I thought.
No, it was like in the middle of it.
He still had to.
No, he was in
He
the-
had to face his brother when he got back to Asgard finally.
Okay, so that is good.
Yeah.
Good Thor versus bad Thor.
Is it?
Probably the most different of them, but very similar.
Is it good Thor versus bad Thor though?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
I mean, it's a story
I
about
mean, like,
Maybe
brotherhood
not.
as well.
But Iron Man is.
Yes.
Yeah,
Black Widow is.
Black Panther is.
Black Panther is.
Black Widow is.
Yep. The Taskmaster is the bad Black Widow. She got the same shit. She came up with the same training.
Yeah.
Yep.
She shouldn't be. The character shouldn't be, but it is. What Ant-Man?
Yep.
Yep, the first Ant-Man.
Did I watch? Yeah, I did watch it.
Let's see what else.
Doctor Strange.
Hulk.
Yeah, Hulk.
Literally, I mean,
Yeah, Abomination is the evil version of Hulk, basically.
Probably Winter Soldier. even though it's done better, I think, than most of them.
Bobby, I mean, you bring up a good point, Bobby. You do. But at the same time, Joe, I can see how you can say, yeah, it's a superhero movie. It's, A plus B equals C.
Yeah, I'm entertained.
And obviously, at the end of the day, if you like it, you win.
It's not what is art; it's what is entertainment at this point. Because I don't know what entertains you, bro.
Yeah, well, so that all of it entertains me. But not everything that entertains me is something that I find good. Like, have you ever scrolled past a video on your phone and it entertains you for the 30 seconds that you watch it, and then you click, and then you scroll past and you're like, why did I waste my time on dumb shit like that? Did you ever do that?
But that's that's what I mean when I say a piece of media is good or bad. Like, was I entertained? Or like, sometimes it's so bad you have to give the caveat. Like Street Fighter the movie.
Mortal Kombat 2.
Huh?
Mortal Kombat 2.
I
almost had him.
See? Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I almost had him.
Not that. That's just bad.
Almost had him. He was like, Mortal Kombat. No.
He had to stop and think for like a second.
But like, it's entertaining. So at the end of the day, it's good because I guess the missing rest of the phrase when I say a movie is good or bad, it was good entertainment. It was bad entertainment.
Yeah.
Good.
See, but I don't even. I think that even for myself, just because I'm entertained, I can also say it's bad entertainment, and not to say that Loki is bad entertainment, but you
make it sound like it is, though.
You do, Bobby.
That's fair.
Fun romp, right, guys?
Yeah, that's why I want to say it was fun. I enjoyed watching it. Never watched it again. I had fun while I watched it first.
May not remember it.
So I didn't have fun while I watched it. But I also agree that I probably make it sound worse than what it is inherently.
I think for you, unless you really like something, then it sounds like you fucking hate it a lot of times.
That's probably true, too.
So that's probably what confuses me.
That's probably true, too.
I mean,
okay.
But I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure that there's much difference in how I treat something if I don't love it.
That's what's confusing, probably.
So yeah, and this, I mean, it's an interesting exercise to talk about, but like,
this is
so
getting Bobby's brain and be really confused.
Don't wander in.
I'm fucking lost in there.
Better bring a flashlight. So if I watch this Loki show and I hated it, like fucking hated it, I would never watch it again. Mm-hmm. I would not speak fondly of it. I would not support the merch. And I would try to forget it existed, maybe.
I think you might have done that if you watch all 6 episodes at once. You just didn't have a choice. Right? Because you get the ups and downs. Like, oh, I like this episode. I didn't like episode. And at the end of the day, at the end of the series, you're like, I didn't like it.
If I had to watch it all at once, I wouldn't have made it through.
Exactly. So, well, because of length, but...
No, because I would have tapped out. I'd have been like, it's too much bad.
So, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, so you don't like it. You weren't entertained. Overall. No, I would not I'm not entertained. So just like the cat dangling from the tree caught me for 30 seconds. Caught me. But I'm not going to watch it for 6 hours. At some point during the 6 hours of the cat dangling from the tree, I'm like, all right, fucking enough of the cat dangling from the tree. I get it. He's cute. Maybe there's a pit bull doing something now I can get to next. So like if I don't like something, I'm not going to watch it again. I'm not going to support the merch. I might support the merch. That might actually be the difference. That might actually be the difference. Is I might support the merch because if I hate something, like if I really hate something through and through, then I don't want anything to do with it. If I don't like something, I can be like, man, I don't like it, but I like this character. I like this element. That's just you liking to buy shit. That's what that is. Because if I don't like something, I would never fucking buy anything from it.
You've never not so that might be true. But you have not liked something and also simultaneously appreciated things about it.
Yeah, I can see why people like this.
No. Like we watched
Casino.
No. You love Casino. You give Loki 6 casinos. I watched Mortal Kombat 2 with you, or Annihilation, and you do not like that film.
No.
But there was one second where you're like, this is good, or that was good, or that's a good representation of that. So you can appreciate a little good moment, even though you don't like the film overall.
No, never support it in any way.
Which I just said.
Yeah.
You might not support the merch, but you can isolate something within something you don't like and be like, I like this thing about it.
And you would be able to buy something from that.
And I would be able to buy something.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's just because you like to buy stuff.
But maybe because I just buy stuff I like.
But if you don't like...
But I like that.
I think he's just like making like excuses to buy shit.
But I like that character.
Like
I might
that character in a
that
piece
thing.
of fiction
Or
that you didn't care for.
Right.
How much can you possibly like something from? I don't know. It's confusing to me still.
Like, let me see. Let me try to give a good example. I do not like Endgame whatsoever. Mm-hmm. I love Captain America in Endgame.
But you already like Captain America.
Yes, but I love his specific choices in Endgame. I love him. I love the hammer bit. I love all the kind of character bits you're supposed to like, that are specific beats where there's almost like a break in the score to allow for audience reaction before the score
They
hits
definitely
in.
did that. Yeah.
Like, I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. And at the end, I'm like, oh, but it still leaves me empty. I'm trying to think, Birds of Prey, the Harley Quinn movie.
Oh, God.
Awful.
Not good.
Want to get it out of here immediately. But I really liked the cop, the Rosie Perez,
Montoya. Yeah.
And
She was good in
really loved her in it. I thought she did a great job. Thought she was perfect casting. So like if they made something of her, like a figure of her, I'd probably buy it because I thought she nailed that character. But also can't stand the film. We'll never watch it again unless my kids ask me to. Which is true for Loki.
I kind of liked it, but
which is awesome. I mean, you might love it.
I mean, I like the first Suicide
I would never
Squad
give it a
movie.
chance to begin with. So
Yeah.
that's the difference between you though. Like you'll give things chances that I would not.
That's fair. And Bobby, I think you probably feel so much fucking pressure to watch this shit because people value your opinion that it muddles your. Hang on, let me finish.
Yep.
It muddles your view of the end product because whether you realize it or not, you might have a little resentment about I have to watch this fucking shit
Like all
to
those toys?
get through,
Yeah.
so
I can talk about it.
I can talk about
for
it
content.
for content.
Yeah. Except, see, this goes back to a thing with me where I feel like it's always looking for the excuse. I felt that way with He-Man.
Okay,
Loved it.
I enjoyed it too. Well, then we'll talk about
And we're going to talk about it. I can't wait to talk about it. But like, I feel pressure is when I don't like something.
Yeah, you feel like you should like it, and
And
you
I'm
don't
like,
like it.
fuck.
But you know what?
Now
Bobby?
I'm going to have this conversation.
But you're the one. You're the one that's gonna tell people what you really think.
Regardless,
I mean,
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't tell you a movie I've watched that I absolutely hated. I mean, Aquaman's close, but
you didn't watch Mortal Kombat 2 with us.
I didn't. But I same
I'll
as you.
tell you this.
I
There's
wouldn't-
nobody in Mortal Kombat 2 that gives you permission to come aboard.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
There's no splash.
It's a more welcoming film, Aquaman.
But I'm not
I wish Melina would give me permission to come aboard. Jesus Christ. Oh, you didn't see her face, though.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, like
The rest of her. The eyes,
Yes,
the
yes,
hair,
yes, yes,
the
yes, yes,
neck
yes.
down.
Agreed.
Great.
And she can fight.
Yep.
if it's something I don't want to watch, kind of like
Exactly.
I'm not
you just
gonna,
won't give it a chance.
unless somebody is adherently asking me specific. I don't get hounded like Bobby does about shit. Obviously, please don't start hounding me about new release movies.
Yeah, I'll watch it three months later anyway.
Yeah.
For me. Like, I never get pressured into watching stuff. But, like, I love having conversations with you, but, like, not in a disrespectful way, but, like, I don't value your opinion on entertainment. And I haven't for months.
Well, I think
Because I think we're just different people.
yeah, I don't
Yeah, same
there-
here.
like
So it's- yeah.
when you tell me that there's like some French film about some house that turns into a robot and tries to eat the people that are inside it.
Sounds
I'm like,
amazing. There's not one, but I hope there
I'm
is.
like, you know,
Wait, I thought you
it's
described
probably
that
it's
a couple
probably
weeks ago.
it's probably not for me.
You watched the sequel, right?
You know, but I do think that like there is a user friendly accessibility to a lot of this Marvel stuff,
Yep.
and I think that tone is generally not for me. And
It's popcorn. It's like you can sit down and
and
watch popcorn
I like-
and fucking laugh about it and leave.
even the Marvel films that I tend to really gravitate towards are the ones that the tone is a little bit more serious, like Infinity War, and I even like the tone of Endgame, to be fair. But Infinity War, Winter Soldier, and
Civil War.
to a lesser extent. But and I just realized it watching The Boys, where I was like, man, I fucking love this. You know, like, and I'm like, why? Like, and I do it because I feel like I want to stay aboard with the Marvel stuff because I like a lot of the overall arcs. Even if I don't like, I like Avengers, even though I think it's like popcorn fun.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's good. Where like there's some stuff I think is popcorn fun, and then I'm like, I think this is kind of empty in popcorn fun. And I don't think that Loki is empty, but I do think that Loki. I think that at the end of the day, it's a pacing thing for me with that show.
Like I never like I've always said that people always love Loki. I never care. I'm like, that's a shitty character. I don't give a fuck. I know people love whether him as an actor or everything. But like the Loki the show made me care about the character Loki. Same with like WandaVision. Like I didn't dislike them, but didn't care much for either one of them. But then I did.
Well, and I think Joe, that's part of the reason that they do this. I mean, not everybody that will watch these shows is as well read as Bobby or Phil or anybody that's read comics. Yeah. I mean, myself included. I read plenty of comics as a kid, but I didn't dig in the crates on anything, right? So I think that show, like WandaVision, for example, opening up and showing you who these people really are,
because you give room to breathe. You're not in a fucking
exactly.
team. You get to explore who they are as characters.
Yeah. And I think the point of these shows, a lot of it is to build that where you want to go buy merch and shit, right, Joe?
Yeah. But like, I like the time cop. I like Owen Wilson and Loki a lot, and I like the conversations they have. Like, you did a great job, I think. I think everyone did.
I don't think he's a bad actor. Yeah, he gets a lot of shit.
Yeah, but he's not.
I don't think he's a bad actor.
He's been in some movies that are...
Sure.
So has Robert De Niro. But like, people still hold him in some kind of regards.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Because of Casino, Joe.
As you well know.
For me, it was Heat, really. Or Ronin.
He's great in...
yeah.
He's great in Heat.
Yeah, he's great in Heat.
You don't like Ronin?
Meet the Fockers.
It's fine. It's fine. There was something I was going to say. Oh, so I agree, and I like the opportunity to spend time with the characters too. But there's a difference between me spending time with you, let's say, and being down in the Crashbox Factory, LLC, and getting like the ability to kind of pick your brain and find out what's going on and why you wanted to create these things. And like if I were to spend 2 hours doing that, and like I'm spending time with this character that I don't normally get that sort of time with, and then there's also 2 hours that I could spend just watching you sleep. That's not the same value of time to spend. And I feel like
I don't know. Are you going to sleep too?
I'm going to perch over the headboard.
He's going to wake up
like an angry gargoyle.
He's going to say, replace your coffee with the blood of a three-toed sloth.
But I get
he's going to eat pistachios, and their shells are going to fall in my head.
Oh
my god!
But I get the opportunity. I don't know what I should stop touching shit. But I get the opportunity to when I get the opportunity to spend the quality time, I do appreciate it. Like those first 4 episodes of WandaVision, I was the biggest champion for that show when people were hating it.
Oh yeah,
who hated
it? Yeah, at first they were like, "Oh, that's weird.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't get it." And I was like, "This shit's fucking awesome."
I thought it was great.
And then it went to regular shit, and I was like, "Okay, now I'm just not as interested in it." And like, I forget where I was headed with that basis of it, but like,
with Loki, like. Made me like it. Made me care.
So I'll tell you what. Oh, that's where I wanted to go. So Loki didn't do much for me, I think, until Dark World, and this might be a sibling thing. And it might be something you just can't relate to.
No,
but like when you grow up, yes, but that's not the same. In spite of how many cat parents think they are. No disrespect to the cat parents, but you're not fucking parents. You're pet owners.
Parents are kind of pet owners, just more complex pets.
No, it's not. As a person who's owned, I only trust the opinion of someone who's had both.
I mean,
and I almost said owned both, and I didn't.
Well, I mean, listen. Hey, you can take a deduction on your taxes for your depreciation on your car and your children. So
that's true. Yeah. That's true.
Sibling thing.
Yeah. You don't. I think that most kids. I can't speak for all. You don't always feel like you're the one in the good graces of the parents. And I know that I always felt like, I had a broken home, Joe. It's very sad. If you give me your shoulder, move it closer, I'm going to cry on it. But like, if in that broken home, my mom remarried and had more kids, and it was clear that these are our children, and you're the one that I have partial custody of, and that was what I always related to, I think, personally with Loki, was like, he hated them, and he also just wanted them to love him, And like that always registered for me. In this, you don't really get to explore any of that. But I'm not sure that But I'm not sure that it needed any more exploring. I think they may have done a decent enough job of fleshing that character out already.
Maybe I tuned him out so much in the movies that I needed this to get me on board with what he's about.
At the end of the day, when the rubber meets
At
the
7 p.m.?
road at 7 p.m.
After dinner.
The goal was to make you be interested in Loki.
And it worked for me.
And it worked for you.
And it worked.
Like,
and it worked.
I liked it.
No, Bobby hates him.
Bobby hates
No, I don't hate him. I don't
Okay,
hate
okay.
He hates
we
time
can
cops.
establish. He hates time cops.
And he hates
Jean-Claude Van
No,
Damme.
I do hate Jean-Claude Van Damme. I do not hate time cops.
Wesley Snipes.
No, I don't hate Wesley Snipes.
I don't know. I'm just
That was a weird one to bring
Joseph
up.
Gordon-Levitt.
I respect the fact
Weird flex.
I respect the fact that he didn't want to pay his taxes. You know, I don't want to pay mine either. Anyway, continue outside of Loki.
I'll just run through some of the stuff I did watch that doesn't need to be talked about. Movie night this past week and the week before was Dodgeball and Galaxy Quest.
Okay, we got to talk about that. You can't just blow by Dodgeball.
Dude, there's another movie that can't be made today. Because
No, it couldn't, but it's
amazing. It holds up so well.
Oh my God.
I've never watched it. I don't know. I've seen it at least a dozen times. I've never watched it and not be as entertained as the first time.
Oh, it's
You know
so
what? One of
good.
I love a lot in there. Ben Stiller in there is my favorite character by far.
Oh, nobody
White-
makes me bleed my own blood.
Dude, I love a couple lines, but the one in particular I love is it's me taking the bull by the horns. It's a metaphor, but it actually happened. I love that. I love. Are you reading the dictionary? You caught me. Like to break a mental sweat too.
It's so ridiculous.
And then my other line I really love in that movie that I feel like often goes underappreciated. It's a small Vince Vaughn throwaway line. But that lady's coming there to get his business in order, and she opens up his closet, and it's a fucking train wreck of boxes and files and papers and everything.
It's all in here.
And she's like, this is all yours. He's like, yep, this is what I call my keepers.
Average Joes.
I love that shit.
It's great. It's perfect. Like I wouldn't change anything about the fucking movie. But I forget like as the
Ocho.
years go by, like how much crazy shit fucking is Rip Torn, right?
Yeah.
How much Patches? How much
Yeah.
crazy shit he says?
Yeah.
That you
Like,
could not
it stands out more and more now.
You couldn't
as
say
it's more
today
and
at
more
all.
PC.
Yeah.
Is that a net good or bad?
Good. For me, it's net good because it's net good that it is out of the ordinary to say that shit in the real world now, to where it jumps out at you. But it's bad that we can't make those movies anymore. If that's the case.
Okay. I'll
Because
accept
he
that.
said because people don't realize.
Should
as
there be a pass for comedy?
It should be a pass with satire.
Is that satire though?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
He's like an old grouchy,
I'm
laughable
not-
but fucked up character because they always look at him side-eyed. He threw a wrench at a dude. That's not good.
Yeah.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
That's
Joe.
That's what they say.
Dip, dive, duck,
Dodge
and dip.
No, it's
dodge.
dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. But like you
See,
should be able to
I
make
never
those
make
movies,
nationals.
and you should be able to say those things in the context of if it makes sense for the movie.
I mean, I even think for like stand up, like obviously like Raw and Delirious would never be allowed to get made today. But you know what is allowed to get made? Chappelle shit. And
Because
Chappelle
it's
shit
It just has to be funny
Because-
enough.
because it's somebody that's got money to say fuck you.
Yeah, and it's somebody who has the everybody. How do I say it? It's expected. So if comedian young fella wants to come do his set and he tries to do some Chappelle level shit, it's not gonna work. He's gonna get.
Unless he's hilarious.
Well, yeah,
Well-
you know who's kind of getting away with it is Andrew Schultz. When he did that, Andrew Schultz Saves America or whatever.
Yeah.
And he doesn't pull any punches, and he says some shit that the average Joes
me.
couldn't say. And he's been getting in trouble for it, and he's also simultaneously been saying, "Fuck, so what?"
Right.
So what?
Yeah.
It's part of. That's two things. Part of saying being able to say so what, like being able to stand behind your work. Like,
Yeah.
That's my work. That's what it is. It
Yeah.
wasn't. It is what it is. And also, if it's something's done well enough, you're gonna have enough defenders to where it evens out. To where,
Yeah.
no, that's fair. What he says there is
Yeah.
good. Like if nobody's fucking on your side, you kind of fucking up.
Yeah.
So Galaxy Quest.
Holds up amazingly.
Bobby,
It's
Tim
1999.
Yeah.
Tim Allen has been
21-year-old
It's
movie.
the spoof of Star Trek.
I think I saw it when it first came out on video.
Not only does like you know,
Alan Rickman's in it.
yep,
Yeah.
Sigourney
Weaver.
Tim Allen and
Yeah.
the guy who played Monk. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
Tony-
Monk. He had like
Tony Shalhoub.
he was like an
He passed
OCD.
away, didn't he? I think he passed
What
away.
did? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like
I think
5
so.
years
You gonna be okay? You need a moment.
the fucking
Give him a honk. Tony Shalhoub.
Rest in peace.
the
Well-
bad recruiter from Deadpool, wasn't it?
And
Yeah.
what's his name from The Office is in there too, isn't he?
Which
Yeah,
always.
the-
The American
As-
version? Or
Yeah, the American version.
The intern.
the,
The
one,
intern guy.
the short, compact, concise, good one, or the long, drawn out, also good one.
The long drawn out, also good one. The famous guy with the glasses.
Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, Rainn Wilson was it?
Yeah,
Well, he's
yeah.
one of the aliens, right?
I believe he is.
In Galaxy
Justin
Quest?
Long, isn't it? He wasn't off the ship back then. But it's a
Justin
great
Long,
cast.
isn't that?
Yeah.
Because he's in Dodgeball, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you had a Justin Long movie marathon,
we
Joe.
watched Dodgeball, and then I was thinking,
Put that on the...
and then we're talking about he was a Dell guy. I was like, no, he made movies before he was a Dell guy.
Yeah.
Was it Dell or PC? Apple?
Yeah,
One of
no,
the
he
other.
was the Apple guy.
Yeah, he was the Apple guy.
And I was like, oh, like Waiting was a great movie. Fucking.
Oh yeah,
Waiting
Waiting was great.
Batwing.
Yes, Batwings, bro. Oh, do you ever watch
You've
Waiting?
seen Waiting.
I don't
You
think
would
so.
love it just because
It's like they work at like a
Ruby
TGI
Tuesdays,
Fridays
basically, yeah.
kind of place.
It's Marvel, isn't it?
It's supposed to be Ben Again's, right?
No,
That's how I feel.
Was it Ben Again's?
I think Todd McFarlane wrote the script.
I'm waiting for his scale.
Liefeld did the illustrations. There's pockets all over their aprons.
But all the special effects were done great too.
So
Like they hold up. Like
Oh,
most
yeah.
of these practical effects, which they were done great, so they will always hold up. But there are CG stuff in there, and from '99, and it's so good.
I remember reading something. I don't remember the specifics, but it was. I think that shows up a lot of the time on like people's favorite Star Trek movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So well done, and it hits
is.
every fucking Star Trek trope there is. If you were a fan of Star Trek at all,
Have you guys ever seen Fanboys?
Yeah, that's fucking
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, that
You
is
have not?
You'd like
I know-
that.
Yeah, you would like
About it, I
Fanboys.
didn't
Yeah, you
watch
should
it.
see it.
Dude, the best part of that movie, real quick, is when episode 1 getting ready to come out, hasn't come out yet. This one dude's like a Uber fan, and he like takes his shirt off, and on his back he's got like this tattoo, this full like back piece of Jar Jar Binks.
Oh no!
And he's like, you see that? Jar Jar Binks, this dude's gonna be the shit. I'm telling you.
oh my god! Oh my god!
My favorite part in there is Seth Rogen plays like
That's the guy with the back tattoo.
Is this?
He plays a couple characters.
right. Well, okay.
Yeah.
So he's like the super Trekkie guy, like
Yes.
doing the tour, and it's just so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's worth a watch if you
I'll
like
probably
that
watch
kind of
it.
stuff.
I like
Fanboys is good.
Seth
It's
Rogen
been a while since I've
back
seen
in the
that.
day.
And you know what you can say? That's a period piece.
Yeah,
It
it is.
technically is.
Things, man, time is moving by. But '99 was a great year for a movie because I just looked up movies last night. I was like, '99, The Matrix came out. One of the Star Wars came out. I think the good one, maybe not the first one, the second one.
99 was episode 1.
Yeah, it
Was
was
it?
episode 1. Yeah.
I mean, there's meat on the bone there.
There was good times.
Yeah.
There was good times.
talk about
There was
it.
a lot of good times. I just did the Duchesne of this basement stupid guy. He after we saw episode 1, he passed out in the parking lot and pissed himself.
Oh my god!
Like
He was that happy with it?
well, no, so he didn't really give a shit. But we picked him up, put him in the car. I had a Columbia raincoat. Like everybody had them. Like you remember the Columbia? They were like black, and then on the inside they were like purple and turquoise. I still miss that fucking coat. I never saw it again.
I have an Echo one from that vintage.
I put him in underneath the raincoat because he had pissed himself. I put the raincoat underneath him.
Yeah.
And drove him home, because he started coming around a little bit. I like got him in bed and shit. And we're like, you good? And he's like, yeah. And then like he hit me up the next day, and he was like, dude, the effect's just too real, bro.
That's great.
And it's only funny because he doesn't give a fuck about any of it. You know what I mean?
You didn't spend the time on his character to just sit and watch him sleep for a couple hours.
Yeah, just
right.
15 minutes to get him home.
Major Grom and the Plague Doctor
What?
is on Netflix. So Major Grom apparently is a Russian thing. It was a short that was. It was a short from a few years back that got real popular. So I guess they made a movie of it. I never heard of it. I just found this out when I looked it up because it was suggested to me. And it's a Russian film, but it's dubbed in English.
Comrades.
This is a film.
It's a film.
Okay.
Movie. It's good. I'd say you like fun romps. I say give it a watch. It's kind of like a superhero movie, but it's not. He's a lawful good cop.
What's the name of it again?
Major Grom, Grom, the Plague Doctor. You can just probably look up the Plague Doctor. It's more memorable. But no, it's good. I would put it in the superhero genre, kind of, but there's no superpowers in there.
Okay.
But it's funny, characters are endearing, and it's a good story. But I never heard of it, and there's I didn't know.
You never heard of Major Blum, dude?
Major Grom.
Grom?
Major Blom's what I do in the bathroom.
Yeah, I didn't know Russia had a big film industry, but I guess they might, because like
There's a couple
well,
things
it's
that
Netflix
come out.
original, so maybe they.
Wow.
It was rated higher on
Wild Bear Productions.
Google. Didn't they have like a Russia superhero team thing they were trying
They
to make?
did. It's called The Guardians. I didn't see it.
It
but
looked
I,
awesome.
I wanted to see
But
it.
nobody saw it.
I heard a lot.
Did it
I heard
come
a
out?
lot of
It
mixed
looked
reviews.
awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it.
But
I
you
loved the
didn't
way
watch
it
it?
looked. No, hell no. Because I probably wouldn't be able
You
to
don't
handle
like Russians, is what it is.
Yeah.
You would have to be dubbed.
I would. Yeah, it would have to be dubbed and then all this shit.
Yeah,
I
well,
Bob
Major
Evans
Grom is
did that.
dubbed.
don't even know if it was accessible.
You could find it on Redbox.
Okay.
Maybe you find it.
So,
In
I don't.
Eventually, it's streaming if it's not now.
All right.
But I could see this as a series of movies, and I would watch it.
There was a Russian series of like vampire movies that were supposed to be really good.
Well,
Like Daylight or
so there was a Daylight, or there was a.
With Sylvester Stallone, who was stuck in
in the tunnel.
in the Lincoln Tunnel, which I've been to, and
No.
it's like half the size at most.
But
the
I'll tell
first
you,
one was-
that movie fucked me up.
I like that movie
Daylight?
a lot.
Yeah, as a kid, I still to this day.
When you're in tunnels?
I don't like it,
Dude, I do
don't
think
like
about it. I do think about it.
That's a bridge or a tunnel. Given the option, which do you take?
Bridge.
Bridge.
Bridge. Yeah, same. All right. I thought it was going to lead
But
to more
it-
discussion.
You're thinking.
No, we're all
Daylight-
intelligent human beings here.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about because I saw both of them. Daylight was the second one. It wasn't quite as good as the first one.
Okay. Yeah,
It was,
but it was a thing.
yeah, they were both
Vampires,
decent.
bunch of them
Yeah, it was like
running around,
Yeah,
biting people, doing vampire stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a
Look good.
superhero war, basically.
Look good.
If it ever comes up on Netflix or
Yeah.
one of the other things I have. That,
Yeah.
Usually Netflix is my
There-
go-to. If I don't see anything immediately, I go to Hulu and Prime. But yeah, Major. It was just surprising because it was like a random film I never heard of, and it was highly rated on Rotten Tomato and Google User. They're both in the 90s. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Did not regret. Fucking one of the characters in my D&D game died. It was hella sad.
Oh,
not
oh,
in
not
real
a
life, not in
player.
real life.
Yeah, yeah.
Not a
Not
player.
the person
An
who
actual
played it.
character. Okay, I was like,
But
holy
the actual
shit.
character in story
Yeah.
died, and like
How long has
it's
he-
funny
how-
that
how long has he been
matters to
around?
me. That in what do you mean?
Like
Since
in,
your
your character, the character in the.
And
Like
in
how long is it?
IRL has been a few months
Okay.
since we
That's-
started.
That's enough to get attached.
Yeah, it is because like you interact with these people all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a friend. It's funny though because like he's still playing. He's gonna come with a new character this week. You know, and
He's over it.
Get introduced. No, but we all are upset over it.
Right.
So it's funny how like characters in a story can matter to you.
Yeah.
Do you
Even
guys
though,
perform
like
like
the guy who plays didn't die. He's fucking there.
You just sent them roses anyway.
Do you guys
Like an
perform
edible
awake
arrangement.
in game?
We role play through like in
Okay.
the fucking cemetery.
Okay.
Real quick on the D&D tip. The Realm of Collectors group now has a D&D subgroup. Maya Fisher actually has started it, and they're gonna look at doing some online games and stuff there. So
If they don't know about it, check out Roll20. It's amazing.
Well,
Amazing for playing.
I'll make
D&D.
sure to tell them to listen to this podcast.
Rogue 20.
Roll. As in
Roll
20.
20.
Yeah.
Roll
You guys
20.
like usually use a 20-sided die.
Yeah.
Even
But
if
you can
don't-
play like any RPG on there.
Gotcha.
Like,
Yeah, even if just saying it, like if you're a beginner or whatever, they're teaching people how to play and stuff. So.
Gotcha.
Yep.
That's cool.
I watched an anime movie that I don't need to talk about. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be anyway.
What was it called?
Fate Heaven's Feel
Was it-
Part 1. It's Part 3 just recently came out. It's been over 3 years, so I'm starting Part 1. I just started Part 1.
So you didn't like it? Are there any characters you like though?
Well, I love the characters because as a franchise I love, and I already know the story because it was a game, and they're adapting it. So I enjoyed visually seeing the fight scenes and stuff, but it was put together, edited in such a way where I understood it, but I know nobody else would. Like, if you don't already know, I don't like movies like that. To where it's basically fan service. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, what if I want to know the story? But I love if anyone recognized Fate, the Fate series, I talk about all the time. I love that series. It's the only. I just got my 750-day login bonus for the game.
Oh wow!
Like, I don't play games like that, but like I've logged in for 750 days on this fucking game on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to hang out with Adam last week.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'd love to see what he's done with the place. Like I'm happy for him. Like he's got. I've never been to a gaming store on that scale.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
maybe at a convention, but like it's almost like a warehouse size room.
Yeah, the garage looks like a convention space.
Right.
almost.
That's like
Yeah.
cases around the whole wall. It's fucking lit.
It's pretty amazing.
Fucking multiple tables, paint stations.
It's awesome.
Well, he hosts a club out of there.
But
so
yeah,
it
I mean
makes
that's
it-
what he's always wanted. He's always talking about wanting to either like run a like own a business, like run a store, or run a club or something. And it's like this is the best of both worlds. You don't have to worry about the business aspect.
Yeah,
Right.
It's right out
You
of
just
the house.
have a fucking space. Yeah,
Yep.
That's
dope.
yeah. And
Were you there for a game day or was it just hanging?
just hang out. I can never make it to game day because he have it
Yeah.
on Sundays and I work. So like I
Yeah.
wouldn't get there till like fucking 5 anyway. He's like
Yeah.
lives way the fuck out there. Well, not
Yeah.
way out there, but like further now. And that's it. That's all I did. As far as I
Film?
remember.
Going next. All right, so seen a couple things. I saw M. Night Shyamalan's Old.
Oh yeah.
Which
How was
was
it?
it?
I liked.
What's that on?
It was in theaters.
Okay.
It's so okay.
I think it's
so
on film.
There was two things, right?
Real to real.
Real to real.
The premise sounds great. It's also like some shit that like some media has explored before, like
Yeah.
in stories. So I wanted to see it, but then I saw it was M Night. I'm like,
You should see it, Joe. Overall, I liked it. There's some editing choices I would change that I think he kind of flubbed. But
but like the thing
Like
is
he
like,
does.
but
Like
the,
he does.
The thing is like I would have.
But-
It confused me because I would have thought that the time goes differently on the beach would have been the plot twist. So now
Yeah,
I'm like,
no,
gonna
it's
be-
not.
It's gonna be
That's
another
not-
plot twist.
So
to the plot twist.
to
Or is there
that
no plot
point,
twist?
to that point, I was thinking, why the fuck are they showing me all this in the trailer? Because
Right,
that's
right,
the
right.
good juicy
it's not.
stuff.
It's not really. I mean, they figure that out slowly. But that's not really the plot
there's
twist.
more to it?
There's more to it.
Okay.
Like why it's happening is more of a plot twist.
Okay. I mean, I
Or
was interested.
what
but, like,
what humanity is doing about it and why those people are there is more of a plot twist than what is actually happening to them
Yeah,
physically.
I'm like on
But-
the fence with the M Night show just because it's been memed so much.
I liked. Yeah, I know. I don't know how successful it was.
There's a movie called Time Cave on Netflix that explores that concept.
Okay, so this is
Also,
probably similar to that.
Interstellar.
Yeah, Interstellar did that on a much bigger scale. Like this is very small scale.
But yeah,
So-
I would.
What you
So
just
said-
described as Time Cave. Yeah, if you at all like Shyamalan stuff, you
I
should
do.
see it.
Like we all shit on him because it's fun to shit on him. But like
I like
I like a fair amount of his stuff.
I
There's
like
only
more
a
of his
couple.
stuff than I don't.
Yeah,
me
same here.
too.
Same here.
What don't you like of his movie?
I didn't like Lady in the Water.
I did not like that either.
I didn't.
I did not like Green Eggs and Ham.
I didn't like.
I just felt like I had to.
That was the one with the guy from.
That was the apartment complex with Paul Giamatti.
But yeah, I didn't care for that. There's another one though that I really didn't
The
like.
Hellboy
I
guy
think
was
I think
in
it
it,
had
right?
Mark Wahlberg in it.
The fish guy from.
Oh yeah, that's the one that a lot of people. The
Planet.
Happening.
I like that.
The Happening. I didn't really
So-
care for.
Wait, Lady in the no, Lady in the Water's not that.
That's the one with Keanu Reeves and
No, Lady in the Water had Bryce Dallas Howard in it.
no, I don't know.
It's not the fish guy.
Okay,
That's a different one,
is
No,
that-
that's The Shape of Water,
The Shape
and that's
of
that's
Water.
not Shyamalan. That's
which could be a teapot or a cup.
The Shape of Water was
Say
Put
what
water in
Del
the cup
Toro
and become the cup.
got. Del Toro stole from other people and basically got an Academy Award from it.
Oh, it's Beauty and the Beast.
perfect.
Yeah. Well, he,
At its heart,
Love to see
it's
it.
Beauty and the Beast. But like, but anyway, fuck that. What's the one with Mark?
Happening?
Yeah, The Happening.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was
care for
everyone.
that.
That was awful.
What was that? The one that jumped the shark? Was it after that one that went shit on him?
no, it
No,
was.
'cause I feel like they started shitting on him before he
Yeah.
deserved it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they started shitting on him with The Village.
Yeah, The
Sign.
Village is one
I
people
like.
did.
I like.
The Village.
I like The
Sign
Village.
was
I like
pretty good.
Sign.
It's
the
okay.
Avatar
I like
or the Airbender movie.
The Airbender
No,
that he tried to do was
that was
terrible.
when
I never
turned
watched
against
it.
him. I was like, "Fuck you."
Well, I think
You-
a lot of people.
You destroyed my childhood.
Yeah.
Not really. I watched it in my 20s.
Yeah, that movie.
Dude, if a movie guy could destroy your 20s, that's powerful.
Yeah.
I think whenever I dream, I'm in my 20s. Living it up.
That's an interesting question there. This was on Family Feud the other day. What age?
You watched Family Feud?
not regularly, but we just happen to be watching it.
Old, bro. Long in the tooth.
What age would you say is the peak of your life? Just so we're clear, the answers these people gave was 21 and 13.
Yeah, 13 not at all.
So
Wow.
The peak. Wow.
Yeah, it's tricky for me.
2008.
Well, 40 was the
Specifically, 2008 was a great fucking
40
year.
was the number one answer, and I agreed that, I think 35 to 45.
Yeah, I think that
I'm hoping it's 35 to 55, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, me too.
these long-ass teeth.
I hope. I think that probably my peak was probably around 24, 25.
I think so.
But I think when I really settled, I don't think I settled into who I really am until probably 28, 29.
Yeah,
Okay.
same.
Okay, I can see that.
But I think it's all downhill for me since 2008. Like, as much as good shit's happened and, like, meeting good people, having good friends.
nice, cool friends.
But, like, at that point, though, like, bad things start to happen that are on the train that can't be derailed.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I also think that, like, the bathroom is a scary place in regards to that. But
2008, it wasn't so scary in 2008.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I know. Fuck, I had something I was going to piggyback off what you just said, Joe, and I forgot. Oh, well.
What else did you see?
So, I started watching.
That COVID is still on your brain, bro.
Dude.
I started watching Godzilla Singular Point. Have you seen any of that, Joe?
I wanted to. It's on my list. I still haven't watched Pacific Rim Black or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that
That's
either.
on my list also.
That's not really on my list, but
You know Pacific Rim? I fucking love Pacific Rim, bro.
it's all right. And I started watching Castlevania Season 4. I didn't yet finish either of those, but Castlevania so far has been...
I love
better.
Castlevania.
Yeah.
It's
been
fucking
really
amazing.
good,
The
so.
finish was great. But
That is
Pacific
one
Rim is
I'd
better
like
than
to
the Godzilla movies.
That is one I'd like to give another shot at some point.
Yeah. Castlevania I really like. So.
But you can't because it's so
It's the same
long.
animation studio as the He-Man stuff.
But like the whole thing is good through
Yeah.
and through.
No, I mean,
It's
I
just-
haven't never heard anybody say anything bad about it.
That doesn't stop you from not liking stuff, though, bro.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
But I would like to give it a try because I
Hey.
really like it.
And I can also say that something's good and not like it.
Yes.
Yes.
But still buy stuff from it.
No, I can abstain. Perfect example, Drake.
Okay.
I think Drake
yeah.
is really talented.
So
I think he's really good.
you don't have a Drake hoodie?
Don't like anything he
If
made.
they had a Black Series Drake, you wouldn't buy it.
Nope.
Black Series.
Only
$20.
1/1 scale.
One-
And he's got to have the heart shaved
God.
into his head.
You don't want a fucking Marvel Legend?
Stand-ins don't have lines.
What are they doing that Black Series? Pop Smoke.
I don't know. I mean, dude, even that album ain't great, but I'll still run it up for his family. I support that dude.
I saw Transformers Kingdom.
How was that?
Out of
saw it.
the
I watched
three,
it.
that's the one I like the most.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah,
it.
I watched it.
In one sitting.
Yeah.
How long was it?
Six episodes, 22 minutes each.
You watched fucking 3 hours of goddamn Beast Wars
2.5.
Transformers 3D.
3 times.
What?
I watched 3 hours of it 3 times, really, because this is the third part, not of Beast Wars, but of this show. Yeah, I think
I liked
it's
it the best out of the three.
Yeah, I think it's the best of the 3. People hate it, but I think most people hate it because they're Beast Wars fans, and they're like, "You ruined Beast Wars," and I'm like,
Oh, that's why
I liked how they incorporated that.
I would like it too. Then.
I have a unique perspective because I've never seen a second of Beast Wars, so I don't have anything to compare it against. And I thought it was the first 3 episodes were fucking brilliant. The way they told that story to me, not having. I mean, I knew there was a golden disc, and I knew Barney was Megatron.
"Yeah,
Think about that for a minute.
Give me a
Those
second.
kids,
Give me a
listen,
second.
you went from Purple Dinosaur to Purple Dinosaur.
true.
That wasn't
that's true."
not on purpose.
I'll tell you what else.
Wow, I didn't think about that.
The overall kind of how it happens isn't that much different from the original Beast Wars story, except the original.
Travel?
Yeah, but the original Beast Wars story did it retrospectively. Do you know what I mean? Like they got to a point where like, fuck, we got to tie this back to G1. How could we do it?
Yeah.
So it's like imagine if they told it and they always had it in mind. They could they could make the ligaments a little stronger between the pieces, and like they did they did a good job. I'll never watch it again, but I didn't keep checking my watch as I was watching it, which I did with the other 2. I just sort of enjoyed it, and but I won't buy anything from it. And
But they'll take a look at it.
That's good. And I'll never, like, and it's kind of like it does still seem disposable to me. However, I think it had more soul than the previous 2 seasons.
Yeah, I agree with you. And there was a lot of deep storytelling that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, I wasn't
that's why
expecting
people
from
like
this at
Beast
all.
Wars.
I was basically just watching it to
agreed.
wrap it up.
Oh,
and
no,
say,
it
okay.
wasn't
and it was surprising.
definitely wasn't the fucking art or the character design.
But
People
one of the things was that, like, yeah, agreed. But one of the things like they did in this was like, spoilers for anybody listening, but like, Galvatron is Megatron reformatted by Unicron, but Galvatron has like gone through time and space also, and he's like telling Megatron like
This is gonna happen
Yeah,
to
like
you.
this is what's gonna happen if you don't fucking.
Oh, wow.
You know, so like that.
Yeah,
there's like little components like that that are just a little bit more interesting and like something to like unpack.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a old, what do they say? A new spin on an old taste.
I
Or
mean,
old classic.
I'll be honest with you, Bobby. The other 2, I had like put them on while I was working. This one, I tried to do that, and I had to rewind. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, I missed
Yeah,
something.
there was
so.
actual story.
And
that I was
then
like,
I rewound it. I'm like, wait, the art transform. Oh yeah, this is a toy commercial.
Yeah, that was.
But I'm going to say this.
I like everything transformed.
But they didn't
though.
use that as the end episode, which was nice.
I'm going to say this. The challenge of collecting G1 Transformers as Masterpiece is that there's the Toon version, there's the toy version.
right.
You can't say that with this
No,
line.
perfect.
The toys
Can't
are
get more
it's the
accurate.
same. I mean, they have the screw holes and everything. So
Dumb. Perfect.
you know what? It's
Yeah.
dumb, but it solves the
And
problem.
also perfect.
And it doesn't look. I don't mind it.
I mean, that turned me off. That's why I didn't watch. I didn't start watching it. I was excited for a new Transformers thing. At
I enjoyed
first,
the
and then I was
animation.
like, "This looks awful."
So you haven't seen any of it then?
No, fuck it.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck.
I get numb to it. Like at
Yeah.
first, I found it super jarring and off-putting. But like as I got into like the 4th hour of watching it, it starts to seem normal to you. Like it's like you know.
I mean, that's how I got. Like, I did watch some Beast Wars, and I thought the stories was great, like pretty good as far as I remembered. But like it got too much. I'm like, this is ugly. I can't. Fucking look
that
at
Beast
this
Wars
anymore.
animation is awful.
So that's why, like,
It's so dated now.
you-
yeah.
when-
Even then,
Pinkerton, you said
it might have been good for its time, but it still looked
it was
dumb.
not good for its time. I thought it was fucking dumb.
Yeah, I
don't know
I wasn't watching any computer animation at that time, so I had nothing really to compare it to.
Right.
So, but I was also like as a you know the shredded
Reboot.
as a shredded wheat.
Reboot was good.
The shredded wheat, like the kid in me thought it looked dumb. The adult in me can understand that they were at the cutting edge of something that they weren't anywhere near close to mastering.
Yeah. But that's what, when Pinkerton said he never watched the episode, I would have thought you'd been even more turned off from Beast Wars because all you know of it is like how stupid they look.
Yeah, well, they,
Because like you have to like the character to get. For me, it's subjective, right? Maybe you like the way they look, but for me, it's like you have to have watched it, enjoy the story so much that you can get over how ugly they are.
Yeah, I mean, look, I knew what I was getting myself into. I thought they did a good job intertwining the two.
Yeah,
and
so the
it,
story is good.
and it obviously is leading to something else.
Yeah.
So
I think that's an interesting question too. Not for today because we got plenty to talk about, but you know, can you think of a character that you don't like the way they look, but you really enjoy the character?
I'm sure.
Oh, the way they're drawn or whatever.
However they're presented.
just Jessica Rabbit.
All Might.
You don't like the way she looks?
Just kidding.
All Might from My Hero Academia. At first, when I didn't know, before I watched the series,
Is that
when-
the big blonde dude?
Yeah, when it was
Okay.
first being hyped, when
But
like,
he's
we
not.
first seeing the cover and stuff, and I'm like, this guy looks fucking dumb.
That's a deep ass character. I
And
mean,
now
I even know that a
fucking-
little bit.
I love that guy. I fucking love that guy. That guy, I always said it. That guy makes me like Superman. I never
Yeah.
cared about Superman until I watched All Might, and
So
then I
he's their
understood.
version of Superman, pretty much.
kind of. But it just made me click of like, oh,
Okay.
this is what people see when they see
I'd have to
Superman.
do more research, but
There's
like
no way. It's 50 episodes in.
just no. Just like in terms of giving an example.
Yeah.
But just like at a quick scan around the room.
A lot of this shit looks dumb if you're not in the know, right? It
Well, I
can
think
be.
that's true probably across all nerd platforms. You know,
And-
I don't think that.
I think it's collecting
like-
in general, like longer burger baskets.
Yeah, I mean, like
look dumb to people don't know.
Dragon Ball Z, like I think as an example, like people love that shit. Like it's huge.
Mm-hmm. I love that shit.
But like
It's
I
not
look
good.
at,
It's not good, but I love it.
But I look at it and I'm like, that looks dumb. But I don't,
it does.
I don't know. But I'm sure to them it looks fucking cool and wicked, or you know what I mean. But the thing I was going to go to first was
Wicked?
Yeah, Paktika. But like but like
Ninja Turtles?
dude, maybe. But like the thing the first caught my eye just in a quick scan around the room was Cyborg from Snyder Cut. I fucking hate how like Bayversy he looks, but I fucking love his character in it.
That's
you
fair.
know?
How excited are you to see the solicitation?
Oh, dude. I mean,
I can't wait for 2023, Bobby.
yeah, that's what you said in the chat.
Can't wait, buddy. Phil.
Dude, would it hurt? It would hurt even more if it got canceled.
Oh my god!
they're
dude.
not-
just to fuck with Bobby. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what? We gotta cancel this.
Yeah, it's the first Hot Toys I pre-ordered in a while.
When's that supposed to drop?
I don't
It's
pay.
legit.
I don't pay
I think it's
any
legit
attention.
2023.
Only thing I trust is my shipping notice.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
So I saw Loki. If you want to hear what I thought about that, listen to Off the Mats with Dante.
There you go.
because
Plug. There it is.
we
I thought you
covered
guys
we
talked
covered
about,
the show.
and you guys talked about it here at some point. too.
No, not
No,
Loki.
not really.
It was Black Widow.
Oh, Black Widow. That's what it was. Yeah.
So
Off
he and
the
I
Mats,
go through.
this past week or
Yes, from this past Monday, I think.
Okay. Off the
Oh,
mats.
no,
shout out-
not this Monday. The week
Shout out to
before,
Off the
actually.
Mats with the Loki conversation for those looking it up.
Yeah,
Yep.
he does like special nerd episodes for us. now,
Yeah.
basically. Other than that, I will be actually moving after finally talking about it for like a year. I've got to get a truck later in August, so
I'll be going. Or just
more
don't dox it on the
towards
show.
more towards this area.
What's your address?
So I'll be about 20 minutes away.
Oh, nice.
awesome.
So
Nice.
and
Congrats.
at the same time, I had to.
Oh, you making with Pinkerton? I see.
Yeah.
In the basement.
We're finally
He's gonna work for you.
Finally going to
New
dig that
employee.
last hole
In
out.
that little room. The one-
I'm gonna be in there turning the gears on the
That's
3D
right.
printer.
Yeah.
That's right.
At the same time, I had a car repair, which sucks. So last week was
Yikes.
very expensive.
Yeah.
But
Yikes.
anyway,
When it rains, it pours.
yeah, that's basically it.
Copy that, Christopher.
Well, we discussed Kingdom, so that
Kingdom,
was
yep.
something I watched. And one of the reasons I watch so much of this stuff is the Olympics are on. And my wife loves the Olympics.
People generally do.
We have a question about the Olympics too.
Okay. I watch some things, but some things I'm just like, what was on last? I don't remember what. It was something.
Dressage.
I don't remember. It was something awfully boring. Oh, I remember. It's Greco-Roman wrestling, which is
the real rest. Yeah.
right, but like you can't
true.
use your legs at all, and it's super boring and super slow. And I'm like,
some old sports are just
well,
fucking
that's
old. And
I was
not
just
interesting.
telling Kelly, or we were talking at dinner, and said, "What if they brought back like all the classic Olympiad games? Of course, you have to do them nude, so I don't know how that would go.
Would take a
That
fly.
would go over in today's."
Well, probably be fine over in Europe. It's not gonna be fine here in the States.
Did they have big
Maybe.
floppins over there during sports?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Have to tape it to your leg. So I watched the Masters of the Universe piece.
We can go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand why everybody's so mad.
So I'll tell you why. They're mad because. Do you mind if I spoil?
I don't care.
Okay.
I'll watch it, but I don't care enough for spoilers.
Okay, cool. So spoilers are coming for Masters of the Universe.
In 99,
98,
97.
97. So the show is called Masters of the Universe, I believe.
Revelation.
Revelations.
Kevin,
And
is it not Kevin Smith present? I'm kidding.
it
It's
might
not.
be.
It's not.
But I believe the 80s was called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
It was.
Now, therein lies part of the problem. So in the opening sequence,
Hang on. I need to preface something real quick. I've never seen any of the. I've seen. Hang on. I've seen the cartoon from when I was a child.
Yeah.
And I've seen the live action movie.
Great.
I've never
Okay.
seen any other shows.
So you never saw the early 2000s?
I never
stuff.
watched
Yeah,
the
okay.
early
That one was
2000s.
great.
shit.
that's still the reigning champ.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's fine, but I'm just telling you my point of view may be different
Sure.
because I haven't seen that fiction.
So in the opening episode, He-Man and Skeletor die. And the show ends up becoming about Tila. And
But this is just the first 5 episodes, right?
yes,
They're doing. Have they slated a release?
Just
date for
relax.
the rest?
relax.
Okay.
just for let's stay on target. So the Tila becomes the central focus of this show, and it became like the hashtags was Kevin Smith and the Mistress of the Universe and all of this. It reminded me very much of Ray,
Yeah.
and going through all that shit again.
Yep.
I want to preface it with this: I didn't know anything about the hubbub until after I saw it.
I only know about the hubbub from
From
here.
right now.
Yeah.
So
I'd
I
seen
didn't.
a couple things online, but it wasn't. I didn't take it as anything more than usual fanboy gruff.
I didn't know
everywhere.
anything about it until after I watched it.
But like, maybe it's like a being misleading or false advertisement kind of thing.
So if I'm going to
Like the icon on Netflix is like the big H on his chest.
so if I'm going to
That's
shoot them some bail, my first go-to argument would be that He-Man's definitely prevalent in the trailers for the show. So
you think it's a He-Man show.
So you're gonna think it's a
Everyone
He-Man
thinks
show. And it's not. It's not at all. So without like getting into like a deep dive in it, I thought it was pretty fucking cool and interesting. It deals a lot with like the idea of like technology versus magic in their universe and what is of more importance, and because that's really the blend of what that show is, right? It's like technology in this like barbarian world with sorcerers, and like there's some interesting stuff that they kind of tackle with that. I thought that the little like Jeff Johns things, I like to call him, like Orko, right? So Orko's real name, you come to find out, was Oracle. And he was supposed to be like the chosen one of his people. And when he was born, he wasn't right. He wasn't right. And he had a speech impediment, and he would try to call his name, and it was Orko. Like, because he couldn't say Oracle.
It's kind of like Hodor.
So yeah. So then
Kinda
people
like Hodor.
started saying it as like a mocking thing to him that he was Orko. And then
Then they put that big O on his chest,
Like a dunce hat?
like the Scarlet Letter.
yeah, and like and the whole thing is that he carries this whole like inadequacy complex with him like throughout all of it, in the sense of like, man, like I was supposed to be like the most powerful sorcerer to have ever lived, and unless you want somebody to slip on a fucking banana peel, I'm not much good to you. And like I just thought shit like that was like, it was endearing, and like it was like a good character moment for him. It gave him, because he was like the Jar Jar Binks of fucking He-Man.
Yeah, definitely.
So it gave him like a little bit of like, I don't know. It gave him a little bit
Some
of
depth.
some depth,
Some depth
some
to the
character
character.
depth.
It tells a very interesting story to me of, how do I put this gently? How you get used to the way the world is, and then what happens in a vacuum after that's gone. For example, the quote-unquote magic was gone, right?
Yeah.
So here's Triclops.
Rising to the top.
I mean, and he's
'Cause he's
basically
the leader of technology,
he's basically a cult leader.
Yeah.
And they're doing crazy stuff to these random people, and,
Which I thought was cool too.
well, I mean,
But I like a cult.
I'm mad at it.
I do.
I
Like
just
a good
thought it
cult.
was interesting to see. Well, this is what happens when you don't have that. In this world, the magic balancing out the technology stuff.
I loved. There's a couple little beats. There's an Evil Lyn beat at the end that I won't spoil, but I don't know which direction they're going to go with it. But I was happy to see it, like happy and sad to see it, and that's what I think. I had an emotional reaction to some of it, like so it made me. I like having those feelings.
What did you think about the Nether world having all the other the hero?
So I'm glad you brought
and they
that
had
up.
the Wonder Bread He-Man in there, even as a fan.
That
nod.
was a cool nod.
So what I thought was cool about, like, he goes to like heaven, right? Or Tila goes to heaven. They have to go to hell. So that's another thing. Like they did like little nods. Like the sword, Prince Adam's sword, gets split into two,
just like the toys used
toy,
to, yep.
like the role play toy.
Yep.
So like in order to get the sword back together to get the power magic cracking again, you got to get both the sword pieces back together. So one piece is in hell with Scareglow,
with Scareglow,
Yeah.
another huge fan nod.
Yeah.
and then
Because that was
he,
never
like,
in the show.
and he's like the
show
Grim
at all.
Reaper and like runs hell, which is cool to me. And then the other piece is in heaven, for lack of a better term, hell and heaven, right? So they go to heaven, and like there's like all the different sword wielders through time, like the masters, the true power of Grayskull wielders, right? And they're all like, they all got the H symbol on their chest, and they're all big and super jacked and all that, like
Hell yeah.
just like you would imagine. And then and another thing, it's like Prince Adam is there because he's dead. And they're like, they get to talking about him, and because Tila's a little bummed out that she's the only one that didn't know the fucking secret. She's like, you didn't trust me. I'm the only fucking one. Like Man at Arms knows, your mom knows. Like I'm the only fucking one. Which was also kind of a cool beat, like because you would feel betrayed,
Right.
And they're like making an argument to her. They're like, well, that's because He-Man's not who he was.
Yeah,
Prince
because
Adam is who he was, and he's the only one
That
that's
chose
come
his
here
human
and
form.
chose his human form
Yeah.
and didn't choose like little shit like that.
Yeah.
Like I fucking love that shit.
Because they make Prince Adam look like a regular person rather than the jacked up He-Man in this. So-
Right.
so
Right.
it's
I
like
mean, you could literally be fooled. Like,
Yeah,
there's no Clark Kent here.
Right,
It's
right.
legit transformation.
And they then they go back on to Eternia to like try to save the day or whatever, and
And he has to sacrifice sacrificed his chance of ever going back to heaven to come back, right?
Yeah. And you know what? You probably
good
shouldn't
story
watch it because I guess it is technically a bit of a cliffhanger.
It is.
Yeah,
definitely.
so you probably shouldn't watch it.
Are
But
you
Not
gonna make more?
yet. Yeah, I think there's 5 more episodes later.
Are people shitting on it enough to where they're not going to make more?
so I don't know. I don't know.
I'm curious.
I
if
was
that
under
will happen or
impression
not.
that this was like first half of it.
Yeah, I
don't
don't know
know.
if it was first half or first third.
So I mean, the main complaint has been, like I've seen the same kind of fucking tag words, like male emasculation, female empowerment. When is enough is enough? All of my male characters you're taking away, all the female characters you're bigging up.
I've seen a lot of Kevin Smith betrayal too,
Yeah, but on behalf of what?
on behalf of what he advertised the show to be.
So that's fair. That's fair.
And now he's not talking about it at all. Not really. He's
except
only
he-
talking about Clerks 3, which is he's in the
Except
process
he,
of making.
he tweeted something out like "grow the fuck up,"
Yeah.
which I thought
But,
was fine.
it is like, I can see why people is mad because of the false advertisement, right? So like, you will never. We can't go to the multiverse. We can't go back. So like, if they advertise it as what it is to begin with, maybe there wouldn't be such a backlash.
Maybe.
Like, so it is fair
I think
that
the
you can't-
backlash is going to be preloaded at that point.
That might be true too, though. If
You know?
they were like, look, we're taking He-Man out and we're focusing on Tila. And another thing, like, there's a lot of, I mean,
I enjoyed that. I mean, I like the swerve.
I don't. Like, I know enough about He-Man. I feel like, I
this was a
appreciate
character
getting to focus
development
on other
piece.
characters, and I like
Just like those Marvel shows, it doesn't focus on Captain America.
even seeing Man at Arms was
After he's been disgraced. Or felt he was
it was
disgraced.
cool. Like his story arc is cool, and the fact that like Tila kind of that's his father, her father,
Yeah.
and she kind of turned her back on him too. Like you didn't even fucking trust. You had the secret too. Like nobody wanted to tell me. Nobody trusted me. So don't tell me what fucking family I'm a part of when nobody can fucking like. So I just and then he was a fucking badass, and it's like
Oh,
it was
Man at
and it was
Arms,
like
yeah.
He's supposed to be.
correct, but you never really get to see it.
Because the whole show was dumb.
Correct. So I'm just saying it was nice to have the opportunity to like see why to see Yoda use the lightsaber. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I loved it. I'm glad that I saw it before the social media stink got on it, so that I went in truly objective. Without any sort of like, is it an agenda? Do I have to be any of that shit? Because I'm tired of all that shit. But I'm gonna circle back to one here in a bit.
Still playing Cyberpunk. Played some other
I
games
thought
in there.
you were done with it last week, and
Well-
then you're back on it.
Dude,
that good?
I love. I
He found
you
another
know,
ending.
Well, it's not. I didn't find another ending, but
Some of the games are fun to play.
it is. It's fun to play. I like the world. I mean, does it have its issues still? Yeah, but I think most games have aren't perfect. I mean, I've unlocked different storylines than I had last time. Different thing. I guess the way you answer questions, or if you sneak in here and get this instead of just blowing everybody's
Playing
brains
bad
out.
guy, I have a hard time playing bad guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I'm playing. I'm going in. Go murder this person, and I'm going to give you money. Okay.
I have a hard time with that shit too.
Yeah.
yeah,
playing bad guys.
I get like empathy even for fictional characters.
I remember that level specifically, the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, when you're in the airport and you're like undercover as a Russian terrorist and you got to shoot up the airport with all those fucking innocent people in there to I think to create a distraction. No, they're trying to clear the airport out. And I couldn't hit. I couldn't shoot at anybody. I would shoot I would miss them on purpose, and they still run.
Yeah.
I mean, in this game at least, there's no you can't just maul down civilians. It's got to be a gang member or something. An event you've come across. We actually completely shipped everything that we had.
I saw all them crash boxes.
Yes. So we're actually taking a break for a couple.
Good for you
weeks.
guys.
Which just means I have to design new shit. So,
Or you could take a break.
I
hear you.
I get bored.
I hear you.
I get bored.
I feel like you would have said it to me.
So we're
So your employee's now on unemployment?
yeah. Well, I told him to go ahead and file. Yeah, get his 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and we'll
your
call
young
him back.
employee?
COVID,
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was.
Echo variant,
So we're doing something old, something new.
something borrowed, something blue.
Well, no, and then something else. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff that I'm trying to design because we kind of have different lines that we sell, so we're trying to come up with a balance to keep everybody interested in what we're doing. And the last thing I want to say is I want to make a prediction.
Okay.
So as you know, Bobby, I'm a big fan of the lore of Fast and Furious.
You do enjoy this story. You do enjoy this
lore.
story. You like that story a
I'm
lot.
going to make a bold prediction. They're supposed to make 2 more movies.
Oh my god!
Hang on.
Just 2?
That's
12?
You know it'll never end.
I saw that.
You know it'll never.
It'll never
feel like-
end
I feel
until
like-
they stop making money.
But okay, let me say
Well,
this.
one of them is going to die at some point.
I'll say this as
hey,
someone.
Paul Walker already died.
No,
They
like-
they don't care about
that's
that.
terrible.
But he's not
I've
dead.
only seen one, the first one,
Uh-huh.
and even I think it should have at least one more film.
Okay.
But I don't think it should have 2.
Okay.
Just end on
Definitely not
10.
10.
End on a nice 10.
So the way I understand it, they're making 2 more movies. My prediction is there will be time travel involved at some point in time.
Okay.
Dude,
Next
I
2
want a
films.
multiversal aspect where Dom meets Riddick.
I want a multiverse aspect where the cars drive the people.
Damn, that's hard.
That's deep, bro.
That's awesome.
I think you're
That's
onto
fucking awesome.
something.
It's
I
gonna,
think you're onto something.
or Matt Tracker's gonna come in with the IROC.
Well, didn't you say that this week?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, Crab Fest happened, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, we had crabs and good times. Just had a bunch of people over, laughs, jokes, drinks, chills, and good eats. And
You pick a bunch of crabs with Pinkerton?
yeah, no, I didn't actually.
Actually, my wife picked crabs.
Yeah, his wife
picked like 4 or 5. Yeah.
She's slipping up in my spot. But then we picked like the rest the next day and made crab dip.
I didn't know there was any left. I thought Phil ate them all.
Well, she sent a couple. I had mine last night. Some leftovers. It's good.
Oh, okay.
Valuable lesson for me. And Hove said, it's only victory for even in defeat. There's a valuable lesson, so I guess it evens it up for me.
Yeah.
I will never eat crabs again in summer outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
the
spite
flies,
of how good the weather felt,
Yeah.
I can't handle the
They
flies.
attract too many
Yeah,
visitors.
the bugs were like.
Pinkerton was in his underwear and lit a roll of newspapers on fire because it was Lord of the Flies out there.
That's what it was.
So
Yeah.
I never understood why people like eating outside in the first place.
So I
It
know
depends
there
on the vibe for me. Like it's always a never, right? Like I can't say that about. There's plenty of times inside the house I'm like, ugh, like it's fucking cramped in here or whatever. And then there's plenty of times it's outside I'm like, nope, it's too fucking hot. It's too whatever. It's too cold.
Yeah.
I know there was a significant amount left. How much crab dip did you get out of it?
Big. I mean, I got a picture of it. It's it was good, man. It was
I
fucking.
bet.
It was like 1.5 pounds of
Wow.
crab meat.
Wow.
Damn, that's a lot.
Uh,
Nice. That's awesome.
yeah, quite good.
You know, just throwing this out there, the mac that your wife makes is amazing. Have
Oh,
you
yeah,
ever put
she
it-
sent
have
someone
you ever-
else home
hang
with
on.
that, me too.
Have
That
you
was
ever
awesome.
put the crab meat in the macaroni?
I have not. However, that is a thing.
crab meat mac.
Yeah, I've
It is
had
a
I
thing.
had crabby
It's
mac and
lobster.
cheese. It's
Yeah,
pretty
I
good.
know lobster mac and cheese, but I was just like,
I've had
well,
crab.
because that kind of it's a baked dish with cheese on it, so it's kind of
But I'm trying something on Patreon this week. Like, because you had said, like, you're like, this is content, this crab picking thing.
the whole weekend, well, the whole day was content.
So, like, I was, I filmed the last crab we had. I filmed a picking of, and I've shown that before on Facebook Live. But I shown a picking of it, and then I showed how to make crab dip. Like, because you could just buy crab dip crab meat at the store if you don't have access to crab. And then like the whole so it'd be like it's only like 12 minutes, but it's like a little recipe video that I'm gonna start putting
That's
up on
cool.
Patreon once a
Nice.
month or something.
That's cool. All right.
And I think I'll do the mac and cheese, just shit that people are constantly talking about.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, your mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that's just pretty good.
Well known.
The mac and cheese, she sent home 2 pounds of mac and cheese, and it all got eaten.
yeah, I think she got rid of it so that it didn't all get eaten here.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't eat any of it, but my kids ate all of it.
Yeah, well, they're connoisseurs as well.
Oh, they love it. They love it. Bobby, how was your nerd week?
Busy. So I'm trying to. So I watched at the. We've already talked about the He-Man thing. I was going to make the Tech vs. Magic. And another thing about the He-Man reboot that I liked was like a lot of things in there did have lasting consequences. So like there was some gravitas to some of it, which like in Kingdom, for instance, everybody's making it. You know what I mean? Like you're not killing really off any of the characters, like for sure. Like this, it was like, oh shit, like this has changed who this character is from now on. Like, which I appreciate. So I don't know why I write some of this shit down without further explanation.
Bobby can't understand his own notes.
I said favorite friend, father/mother. Oh, who is your favorite? I know. Who is your favorite friend's father? Like your favorite father. Do you know what I'm saying?
Parents of your friends growing up?
Yes, but it didn't have to be the couple. It could be like, oh, this dude was my favorite father of my friend, and this dude was my favorite mother of my friend. And why?
My friend Daniel's mom, because she made a very delicious red velvet cake.
It's a good reason.
And she was super sweet.
Man, that's a magic word, man. As you know, when we first met and we first started hanging out, and I'm always tentative around y'all's wives. So I never hung out with parents. I didn't have one. They always make me nervous. Remember, I always said, like, I feel like your wives are like your moms.
Yeah.
I'm like, can I hang out with Bobby?
Well, I didn't hang out with my friends' parents either. But like sometimes they drove us to the mall,
right?
Or they, you know what I mean, or to the movies, or I was over at their house. They brought home pizza.
Oh no, we were always very neglected kids, all of us.
I was thinking about it, and then I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "I don't have a whole lot of my friends didn't have fathers."
There's that too.
So I think I got to give it to my buddy Shane. I like both of his parents. And they were cool. Like his mom was like sweet and kind and genuine and like nurturing and caring and attractive. And then his father was like chill and like didn't get like, you know, he was like very different from my father, who was like, "What are you doing at 7 a.m.? Is it like, you better have your shit together." Like it was, his father was like, "What's you got on the agenda today, guys?" All right, sounds good.
He's a Robert D.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is there social studies of how you and him turned out in life?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fucked up in the head and
But you're
doing
squared
okay,
away.
and he's not really fucked up in the head, but not doing okay. So it's interesting. But like I'll never forget this one time. He was like we came home late and something, and he was supposed to be there earlier. His dad's all pissed off, but like in his dad fashion, not like my dad fashion. He was like, "Get him out of here. You go do this. Like your day is done." You know, his dad was like, "Hey. It just points to his wrist, like, "Whoa, bud! Like, what's going on?" And and
Is
Shane,
that getting in trouble?
and Shane like kind of snapped, like not snapped like a total asshole, but snapped like, I was doing 100 things. I'm working on it, you know, like one of those things. And he was like, "Bobby, I better tell him to cool his jets."
If that's getting in trouble, damn.
It wasn't really
chill
getting in trouble,
dude.
but like, yeah, he was chill as fuck, you know. And I went inside, and I remember Shane was like, "What did he say to you?" I was like, "He said you better cool your jets." And he was like, "You tell him off to cool his jets."
That's wild.
Anyway, what else did I do? I watched Bad Batch. I'm up to date on Bad Batch.
Yeah, I forgot that exists.
It's still awful.
Still watching it? Are you still watching?
How many
that shit?
episodes is that going through?
It's never ending.
It's 16 episodes.
They're making them so fast.
Episodes.
and I'm 14 episodes in.
I will say
You
that.
said you don't like bad stuff, man. You should keep watching. This
Well,
shit.
this is a thing I think you're watching because you feel like you have to.
So this one I am watching because I feel like I have to, and I am watching because I'm going to watch future Star Wars content, and I know how Star Wars is, where you kind of the more you know about it, the
little
more you
nuggets,
enjoy it.
Yeah, the nuggets.
You get Poosh Nichols at the bar, you know.
So I will say that
Is that a rapper?
Yeah,
most of these shows have been pretty divisive, but this is. I don't know that I think I maybe one or two people I've seen that said, "Oh, I'm really enjoying it."
I know a couple
But
people that love it,
but the majority of people just don't have anything for it or have given up on it.
Yeah. So they sure that I'll give this one cool thing about it was they deal with the spice miners like
yeah,
From Dune?
no which have been
which
in
is coming out.
which is and looks good.
Dude, I can't wait for that.
Finally.
It's going to be awesome.
Which they were in Solo, they were in Clone Wars.
The Wookiees had to.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kessel.
yeah. But it, like Bad Batch gives them but so they seemed like a very kind of like terrifying force in this episode for the first time. I know they're supposed to be like drug dealing gangsters in a way, but they always kind of seem like very robotic and less. I don't know. This one they actually seem like, oh shit, this is an intimidating crew of so that was cool. However, the Bad Batch gives them the kid out of fear to get the spice. And then my comment after that was, I thought they were badasses.
Okay.
I was on a podcast called Tales from Teletron, so I'm just giving them a shout. We had some pretty good discussions on there towards like the tail end. Like they're like a news-based show, so there's a fair bit of that, and then there's some good discussion there at the end if anybody's listening and wants to check it out. So I was watching whenever I go with the kids, like our thing is either Family Feud, like if we go on vacation, or Impractical Jokers.
Impractical Jokers
is like our thing. So like we were watching a lot of Impractical Jokers while we were in DC. And speaking of which, the hotel room that they sold us on said because of the spectacular views, they were anything but spectacular. You only saw the fucking building directly across the street, and I was on the 11th floor of 12.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't get the penthouse, which was 12.
Right.
Oh, interesting aside, Laura actually got a picture of you smiling, and you still raised your arm to cover up your face.
So she wasn't. So that happened because of something else, and I was already like I was doing one of these. Like I can't believe that just happened. Speaking of things that happened, though, we're watching Impractical Jokers, and the term camel toe comes up.
Oh shit!
Oh boy!
And Jaina says, "What's that?" And I was like, "A camel's toe, like the toe of a camel." And there was like a moment of silence, and I hear Jaina say to Selena, "It means something different."
She's smart enough to know when you just.
She sees through your ruse.
And then I've been watching The Boys, as I said, and thoroughly enjoying it this go round. And I'm approaching it differently, so lessons are being learned. And I watched the '99 Woodstock documentary at the request or suggestion of Matt H.
That's on HBO.
It's on HBO, and it's quite good. It's quite good. However, I can't help but say that there was this one part that kind of fucking irritated me about it. Now, it was said by a New York Times journalist, and as you all know, I'm a big fan of the Fifth Column, so I may be jaded in some way regarding the New York Times because they fucking hate the New York Times. They've got a fucking hard-on for them and, like, trash them at every fucking chance they get. But this guy says, like...
I like them.
The New York Times?
What they mean? They pay my health insurance, so...
Oh, got you. So this guy says, who's a journalist for them, is this event went way left. I'm not sure how much you know about this event.
No,
I know of it.
So there was the 60.
It
was 69.
Yep.
And then 94.
and then
99.
Yeah.
99 was at an Air Force base in upstate New York, I believe. And it was, I think they checked the thermometer that day. It was 10 billion degrees for the weekend.
And then like twice as hot because of all the concrete, right?
Correct. It was asphalt base. So like the
Not grass, yeah.
right. There was some grass, but there was a little fuck ton of asphalt as well. People are the water is $4, which today seems like a fucking venues. Am I right? But in '99,
That was a lot of money.
it's still a lot to me now. But also, I'm like, oh well, that's what am I at the movie theater?
Well, in '99, bottled water was
50 cents.
and it wasn't something that people regularly.
Right.
Oh, look at this bougie motherfucker.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You
That's
know?
true.
And
That's
now
true.
it's just
Normal.
Bottled water.
Yeah,
what it is.
Now it's like you don't drink out of bottled water. What's going to happen to you? So the weekend progresses, right? Now it's also '99, so they were talking a good bit about how angry music was in
just
the '90s.
one of those days.
which was
People were breaking stuff.
which was interesting. But at one point they kind of go into this. There's three people that really zero in on this one angle of this show, or of their thoughts regarding why Woodstock '99 goes so wrong. Not that it's 10 million degrees outside and that bottled water costs $4 and that people have been there for 5 days now. The fucking the porta potties are all fucked. People are just shitting and pissing on the ground. Like it's fucking anarchy, right? And they're like, well, the reason why is because young white men are just inherently angry and want to destroy things. And I was like,
Sounds crazy.
I agree with 99% of your statement. Just drop white out of it, and I'm 100% in agreement.
Yep.
I can tell you, I had 2 white friends in '99, and one of them was Adam, who I rarely saw. Mm-hmm. Everybody I knew was fucking angry.
Yep.
Everybody I knew. Black friends, Spanish friends, white friends, everybody I knew. As a matter of fact, I would say the person who was least angry was Shane. But that's because his dad just told him to cool his jets.
Yeah.
So like it just like I don't know why it has to be that sometimes where it's like I think that if we want to get to the root of a problem, right, where there's like it's fucking chimps. young male chimps, which are our closest mammal relative, form gangs and kill each other.
Yep.
Like,
it's just nature.
They're angry. If we want to get to the root of why are young men angry, we're never going to get to that root if we have to isolate it into one thing.
Right.
And that's the kind of the issue I took with it. But that aside, and this fucking 800-pound bitch that co-signed it, that aside, she's angry.
Because she's 800 pounds.
Because he's 800 pounds. But that aside, it was a good documentary when they got to like the music stuff. And some of the stuff was really kind of fascinating. And when you start thinking about it, like, you know, Woodstock, like peace and love and like, you know, like this. And then you get to 99 and it's fucking angry and aggressive and Rage Against the Machine and Korn and Limp Bizkit and
My Way.
Yeah, and Limp Bizkit, who were lesser known, but there's a DMX. That's another interesting thing about that conversation. Like
Different music.
DMX, also angry, is up there on stage, and he's doing the song off his second album, My Jokers. And I can tell you, the majority of this crowd is white. White. And he's doing a call and response thing, which is another thing. Like, I hate to get into it, but they're like, which is a very black tradition. It comes from the church and all that. And that may be true. But guess what else? In the Catholic Church, we've been doing it for thousands of years, and it fucking sucks
It's
sometimes.
in the book. You read it from the book.
Sometimes people are just people, and we all have these rituals, and some of them overlap. And anyway, but they're like, it's like, my jokers, some jokers that really do or die, and then he's putting the mic out to the crowd, and they're finishing it for him, and then he's like, some jokers that you don't want to try, and they're all doing it, and I think there's a number of interesting conversations to have about that, right? To have about the word, to have about what the word means, the history of the word, how it relates to pop culture. I think there's a number of interesting conversations to have regarding that. But the only one that they have is, I wonder how that made black people in the audience feel. I wonder how it made DMX feel. That DMX seemed to
fine.
He
He's
seemed
perfectly
fine.
He's there.
He's
He's
doing
perfect,
it.
yeah.
Now, but instead of having the question as to whether or not it's even right or wrong and sort of approach that, it has to be something else that, like, they're trying to hurt someone. Everyone there is trying to have a good time at that moment. That's before they started fucking tearing the place to smithereens. But it did get fucking ugly. It did get fucking shitty. They fucking tore down everything. Limp Bizkit did a lot of it when they were like, when they did break stuff. Yeah. And then they're like,
All right.
Hey, much like call and answer.
Yeah.
Like, we'll do as you say. And then Rage. And, it's just a lot of anger. But some of the interesting, more philosophical stuff that they talked about during it was like, maybe the Gen X generation was so angry because they didn't have the thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, they didn't have the civil rights. They didn't have Vietnam. They didn't have, we've had plenty of shit since. Yeah. But at that time, all we had was Operation Desert Storm, and that just seemed like a weekend getaway. Like, I'm sure it wasn't, and I'm not belittling anyone who participated in it, but I'm saying it doesn't seem like what happened in Afghanistan, where it just fucking went on forever and ever and ever. You know what I mean?
Are we still there?
I think we've started pulling out, so to speak.
You can't pull it today.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah. But anyway, it's still a good documentary. I
People just like to break shit, man. Like, when you lose a sports game, you're right. When you win a sports game, you're right. Also right. Like, it's people like to break shit.
Yep.
Aggression is part of human nature.
Large enough amount of people together with not enough law enforcement, people break shit.
And perhaps give them some water and a decent place to take a shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were saying how, like, there was Coachella kind of spawned out of this, which I thought was fascinating because, like, and it's also it's a testament to, like, Lollapalooza just happened. It just happened recently. Like last.
There's a shit ton of people there.
Yeah, 6 feet apart, all of them.
I'm sure.
And then. But, they did enforce a rule that if you were inside, you had to be 6 feet apart. I'm like, who are we fooling here? But look,
making up rules for the fuck of it.
And then before that was Rolling Loud, which is like a mega hip hop fucking festival, and it's like 4 days, and like And actually, the baby got in. You hear about that?
I did.
Yeah, we talked about it briefly.
But I have something funny that WWE had 2 matches at Rolling Loud, and they kept cutting to the crowd, which couldn't have given a single fuck about what was going on. Found that very odd.
Well, it was
also that Vince McMahon probably doesn't know what Rolling Loud means, but that's all right.
But a lot of those events that came out of Woodstock 99 started doing things like they were talking about Coachella's first one. Upon entry into the fucking thing, they handed you a free bottle of water. Like just little things to start, like just eat right. And like, Rolling Loud went off with, more or less without a hitch, and same for Lola. Now you fucked me up.
Yeah.
Palooza. The baby, who is not my favorite of the babies, as you well know. I prefer Lil, not Duh. But the baby said some anti.
Well, can I?
Yes.
The baby claimed that his homosexual fans don't have AIDS because they're not nasty.
He did say that.
Which what? Why did you say it? Why did you say that?
He said
any of it. That was not,
any
the
of
entire
it.
sentence has.
He said a number of very homophobic things. I don't even think we saw the worst of it.
Yeah.
But he said a number of very homophobic things, which is terrible, right? And I agree. But here's the counter argument to that. These are my friends, not my friends. These are my kids' friends.
Mm-hmm. Oh no,
They're texting you because are you their favorite dad?
No. They're calling. They're calling, like they're FaceTiming, basically. My kids aren't even here. So where was I?
The baby.
So here's the counter argument that has come up, right? Okay, so everybody's canceling the baby. They're canceling him off this performance and that performance, the governor's ball, everything. He's out. He's on the outs, right? Because he said homophobic statements, and he should have some consequences for those things. And they're hitting him where it hurts, which is
money
in your pockets. So, and I agree. Now, what's weird about this is that you have these festivals where you invite these artists that talk about killing other human beings for 67 minutes per release, and you're okay with that.
Yep.
And there's a real conversation to be had there. That I don't feel like I necessarily want to have right this moment, but I think there's a conversation to be had there.
I mean, it's a cultural thing. If you look at media in general, or like movies, certain things are okay.
Right.
Killing people is very okay in this culture.
Yeah. So, but here's the question: do they look at the Columbine shootings the same way they look at? It's kind of like the Joker said, man. Like, when a truck full of soldiers gets blown to bits and nobody bats an eye because it's part of the plan. Mm-hmm.
But one mayor,
right? So it's like, and I think he even says a gangbanger gets shot. Like, I think he even says that.
Yep.
So it's like the same thing where it's like, oh, okay, well, because it's gangbanging, then it's fine. But if they were to make a song about shooting up a high school, then it wouldn't be fine. So they do play favorites in regard to even violence. But I think that there's a, when you start saying that this is worse than this and this is better than this, and we start having some sort of, it just gets tricky, man. Yeah. It gets tricky. And I think I watched, and then speaking of violence of young people, I watched a documentary, which I do recommend if you are into the drill scene, which I am. And even though this is a Chicago thing, which is not necessarily my cup of tea, it's called 7 Bodies. And it's about King Von, God bless the dead. And the guy who made it is so, in my opinion, terrified of the information that he's putting out that it's like a computer voice doing the entire documentary, which can be a little off-putting because you know how like sometimes it's not a great translation. Like if you're like, I'm going to the mall to get a pair of underwear, and then later I'm going to stop by Joe's house. I really like Joe's house, right? And then the computer generated, I'm going to the mall to get a pair of underpants and go to Joe's house. I really like Joe's house, and it's like, so it's like,
so I thought you meant like he just vocalized it, but he did.
No, it's like he typed it in and pressed
text to speech.
Yeah, text to speech. Yeah,
you're a lot more patient than I am, Bobby.
Yeah, they're wearing me out though. And that's it. I do have a discussion maybe for next week, to start of next week, but like, so I'm going to hold off on it. It'll be a good opener for next week. All right, we do have a little bit of notes.
Cliffhanger.
We're gonna yeah. Oh, dude, I did it just to keep you up at night, Joseph. Congratulations to Jim Lee. He raised $800,000 for comic shops with his 60 and 60 original art sketches that he auctioned off to give to comic book shops to kind of keep them in business during COVID. Just some fucking good shit. Just a little bit of
the sketches. I saw a bunch of them, but they were pretty amazing.
I don't doubt that for a bit. Bustin makes me feel good. I still can't believe they let them get away with that line in Ghostbusters.
Bustin makes me feel good. Yeah.
I still can't believe it to this day that they let them get away with that line.
Do you think the guy, what was the guy's name that sung that? Ray
Parker.
Parker? Is that it?
I think it's Ray Parker Jr.
Junior, it is. Don't forget the junior. That's the sauce on it. That's the gravy on your potatoes. I wonder if that was an ad lib. He was just like, Bustin' make you feel good. They're like, dude, that's great.
And everybody in the engineering room was like,
yeah,
That's fair.
it works. It never makes you feel bad.
Boys, we're gonna get paid on this one.
Got some sauce.
Did anybody watch the trailer
For what?
Ghostbusters 3?
Yeah,
On mute.
I did.
I watched it on mute. I watched it mostly on mute.
I don't care.
So after seeing this, I don't care either.
It's Stranger Things Ghostbusters.
It doesn't look interesting to me at all. Like when you say I have no interest.
Yeah.
I've seen the toys, so I pretty much know what's going to happen. So.
I have no interest. If it comes, it's probably, where I put it in? The Predator.
I just still didn't watch it, surprising to myself, because I like that franchise.
I haven't seen it either.
Oh, the last the Predator,
the Predator,
the Shane Black, right?
Yeah, I
don't think I've ever watched it.
It's not good.
I don't know if I'll ever see this movie, Ghostbusters 3.
Really?
I mean, if it's on Netflix or some shit, I'll probably end up watching it.
So, let me say this. I was just getting ready to say that.
Oh.
But then I remembered I haven't watched The Predator.
Is it on Netflix?
No, but I think at one point, I don't think maybe at one point it was, but I said that at one point. But when it comes to Netflix, I'll watch. But I think I've had access to it. I know I've had access to it.
I have, yeah.
Because I know it was on HBO at one point, before HBO Max.
Okay.
When we had cable, and I didn't watch it. So, I would like to say that I'll watch this. I don't think that I will. But if I have nothing to do, and curiosity gets the best of me, it's still an opportunity. I'm not out there saying I will not watch this.
Right.
That's the best I got. The Chucky TV show. Did you see the trailer for this?
I did not hear that.
I did.
I'm out. The doll looks weird.
It's like they changed it just enough to make it
unappealing.
Different. Yeah.
It doesn't.
I like
They're
classic
trying.
Chucky.
They're
Yeah, me
using
too.
this to try and negate the Mark Hamill movie and continue the film, the original film franchise.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't.
Because this is supposedly a sequel to the last movie.
Oh,
Came
really?
out, yeah. And they're kind of it's a soft
Bride
reboot,
of Chucky
but-
was the last one I saw.
Okay, I think there have been
18
a
others.
couple. Yeah,
I always, even when I was a kid, I'm like, it's just dumb. I've never seen any of those movies.
Yeah, but you don't really like horror movies anyway.
I don't. But
I
this
like the first couple.
even especially
Yeah, I like
dumb.
those too.
This is a whole nother level of stupid.
I like
You
those
can't.
too.
I take that back. I've probably seen one of them in passing, and it's like, how the fuck you not gonna beat this doll out of up these stairs? Or just the ridiculousness of the whole thing.
Man, how the fuck you get to put a magnet in a car and pull a car through another car?
What did the turtles
take a
what did the
car
turtles
into
say
space?
when they were watching that cartoon? Ninja kicked the damn rabbit. I'm gonna get that shit tattooed on my back. Ninja kicked the damn rabbit. Such a random line. That was when they were watching Tortoise in the Hare. Remember the fucking rabbit?
Yeah.
You're like- and I like that they assume that just because he's a turtle that he's also a ninja.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the Dune trailer.
Yeah.
I thought it looked great.
Yeah, I'm very
it's
excited for that.
Nothing from it has ever looked bad so far.
Yeah.
Everything's been great ever since
I agree. I'm
they've
interested.
been plugging it.
I'm interested in
Just
it's
have it come out already. Come
it is
on.
HBO Max, so
It will be.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I watched it at Bobby's house.
I had to think the other day whether or not that movie had come out or not. Because I remember.
It seems like it would have by now.
Yeah,
right?
it should have. Yeah, it should have.
What was it originally? Was it like
2 years ago?
18 months ago?
It was supposed to be December
Yeah.
2020. It was supposed
Yeah,
to be Christmas.
December.
2020.
Oh, so it's not that
last
far.
year.
It's a
Yeah.
year off. I know the toys have already run through the stores.
Yeah.
Nobody cared, so.
Let There Be Carnage.
So will you see that or
just-
Ghostbusters Afterlife less? Or
Ghostbusters less.
okay.
Because there's good parts and bad parts. Well, it's not bad parts, but there's some good parts in this trailer.
Yeah.
I like me some Woody Harrelson.
I do too.
I like the fact
I'm-
they got rid of the crappy wig and they just let him have more regular hair.
I agree with that too.
But I liked that they had it in the first place.
You what?
I like the wig.
I like the
The wig at the end of the first one? Oh,
yeah,
God,
dude,
that was terrible.
it's so. It's a comic book movie.
Yeah, exactly.
He
It's
looked
all
like
dumb.
Bo-
It's
about
all
an
dumb,
alien.
bro. It's all
he
dumb.
looked like Bozo the Clown.
He did look like Bozo the
I liked Shriek destroying the car. I thought it was cool.
I thought the Carnage parts looked cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Shrek?
Venom.
Shriek.
No, Shrek. It's Shrek.
Can it
Shrek
be
is
Shrek? Where's my masterpiece Shrek figures?
It's
20 years.
It's coming out. It's coming
Dude,
out.
don't
worry about
it'll
it.
be
Somebody once told me.
Dude, you had to get a Hot Toys of Eddie Murphy in one role. Who
It's
is
Donkey.
it? Is it really?
Yeah, because then I get a Shrek.
Hey, I got news for you. It's not a guarantee because I don't have a base.
You get a Hot Toys one roll.
Let me think. That
Probably
through
Coming
for
to
real.
America.
That's not a bad one.
Probably want him in the Raw outfit.
Yeah.
Oh,
The red
that's
yeah,
fucking
that-
The
the
great.
red
red
leather.
leather with the shit.
But would you go for the Golden Child?
No, I think I go for Beverly Hills Cop. I think
Okay,
I have to
yeah,
go for
with
Beverly
the
Hills
jacket,
Cop.
yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go for Clump's box set. or actually, you know what? No. I got
Hercules.
it. The wife from Norbit. Are you wearing bottoms? Of course, I'm wearing bottoms.
I think that might be the one.
Daddy daycare.
No, that might be the one. If I got the Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley Hot Toys, that I would consider getting the car for.
Okay.
That might be the one that might get me. Just because, like, with other stuff like the Batmobile, like I got fucking other Batmobiles, and there's like, you know what I mean? Like, you can find a fucking Batmobile. I mean, you can't find. There's not. I don't know if there's ever been a Beverly Hills Cop Chevy. I think it was.
I don't even know.
He's gonna make one now. Pinkerton's gonna make
Crash
one.
Box.
Hold my beer.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I think that this movie's. I don't say what I don't like. I don't like all the Venom jokes already, and I don't think this movie's going to be good.
Nope.
But I am going to watch it. Can't promise that's going to be in the theater. I am going to watch it at some point, and I do think that the Carnage scenes look cool, and they look cooler than I'm not sure if they could look better.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so just two more. One is this Black Widow shit. I just want to go through this real quick. So this started off with this whole thing started off with for those who don't know, ScarJo, best known as Ghost in the Shell, is
Best known as an Asian lady.
as the major. The ScarJo is suing Disney.
Yeah.
Now, why? We're going to break it down.
Fucking money.
So it all starts with theaters blaming Black Widow aux boffus, or as normal humans say, box office, performance on the streaming release on Disney Plus, which is probably fucking true.
No duh. No fucking duh.
Well, did you guys ordered it here, right?
Correct.
Did you go to the theater or did
No,
you
I did
order
not.
it?
I saw it here.
You saw it here. Okay. Well, I went and saw it.
There you go.
They got money for 2 tickets for me.
And I mean, they got.
I was
one
originally
purchase.
planning to, but
What was it? $30.
So it was $30 to buy 2 tickets to the movies. So.
So 60 got $60 out of this table.
And hey, listen, the theater got I think we bought popcorn and shit. So.
That's 60 cool bucks.
did you see it at the warehouse?
But the thing is,
All right.
they got $15 per person off of you. They did not get $15
No, they didn't.
per person off of you.
They didn't. No.
Okay.
Because there was like a rack of us.
I got to go there.
True. But we also didn't get the same experience.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but
the audio visual experience.
Right,
Well,
but for the
We had the little spinning.
company, they made a lot less money.
Right.
We had
No,
a little
for sure.
We had a little spinning thing where it slowed down for a second.
Oh, did it? It might have been what put me to sleep. So then, with that, apparently, according to Scarlett Johansson's lawyer, because we haven't heard from her directly at all, I don't
When
think.
you're a lawyer, you're not supposed to speak, I think.
Right. I'm 100% with you.
Yeah.
So the lawyer has said, look, the contract doesn't say anything about streaming, and her money is built into
Got
performance.
a back end deal.
So it's like stretch goals.
Yeah, well, a lot of
That's
actors
how-
have done
That's
that.
how
Yeah,
the majority
yeah,
of those
for sure.
Because listen, when that movie was supposed to come out,
Yeah.
they would have done fine. She
And-
would have been sitting fat down
And due
south
to due to stuff like this, that's going to be changing the industry.
Correct.
Definitely.
So they're moving in on this, saying that, look, there's no part of our contract that says it's going to go to streaming.
Yeah.
And all of my stretch goals are meant for the theatrical release. And since there's no streaming in here, you owe me money.
Yeah.
And I think she has a valid case for that.
Very much so.
It is and I'll say this. Let me say this. I say this from a million miles away in my basement, without having looked at the contract. But if we were to believe that information, it's a breach of contract, and she deserves every fucking penny that she can get out.
Period. Point blank. Feelings aside.
Correct.
That's what it is.
So,
Yeah, but like street releasing a supposedly exclusive figure on the same day.
Never happens.
never. So
So
then,
Hasbro Halls.
Disney comes back, and Disney, in my opinion, says some shitty things.
Yeah, definitely. They try to spin it as much as they can.
They said
They
there
can't
is
make that shit sound good. It just makes it sound more shitty.
there is no merit whatsoever to this filing. The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific, prolonged global effects that are unprecedented. We all know they're unprecedented. Of the COVID-19 pandemic.
See, they're trying too hard.
Yeah,
They spun it too hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
now,
that's a
it's-
hard
That's
spin.
bullshit.
Yeah, that's complete
it's
bullshit.
Like, this all started at 9/11. Remember that everything was fucking 9/11 for years.
Yeah. But I remember when you weren't even supposed to smoke pot because it was supporting terrorists in 9/11. Do you remember that trip?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not supposed to buy bootleg sneakers because they support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be true though. Or Lito's Pizza. But anyway,
Man, you hate that pizza
I
company.
hate that pizza. Anyway, like, but I think it's such a weird way to try to save face to make it seem like she doesn't care about nothing. None of what you can. Two things can coexist.
Yep.
You can be sympathetic and understanding of why you have to do streaming, and also say, but it's a breach of contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay this man
Yeah.
his money.
Yeah.
Both can be true.
Yep, because you can always stream later. You didn't have to decide to stream it the same day.
Correct.
It came out in theaters.
Correct. And look, the
Fair
thing
is
is,
fair, man.
everybody's we all have to share the sacrifice.
Let me ask you this: if it hadn't been available to stream, would you have gone to theater?
Yep.
How many?
I would've-
How many would
yep.
you have taken with you? The whole crew?
Yep.
Yeah, I would have gone.
Okay.
That's
I was planning to go
Yep.
anyway, just with everything going on, I didn't get a chance to.
That's a bunch of money already.
And there's no fact that there's no mystery that they're going to make less money with this shit. Like, you know what I mean? But because of the circumstances, the lion's share of this shit, it needs to be spread across. Everybody needs to feel it.
Yep.
So yes, Disney Plus, you're going to make less money. But you got to give her a little bit more money. Not as much as she would have made had it gone theatrical. So she's taking a hit too.
Right.
We have to actually live with this shit and decide whether or not it's safe for us to go to the theater, and then make a decision that way. So we take a bit of that, bear the weight of that too. Everybody's got to take a little bit of a loss.
Yep.
So here's the
You gotta
part
make
of
a
this.
gesture at least.
Correct.
Here's the part of this that nobody's brought up. This was not a surprise that her contract was written that way, because it was probably written in 2018, 2019.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
One. We also don't know how much conversation was had about this before they finally released this movie.
That's also true.
Right.
That's also true.
3, this could have been the, look, we've tried to talk about this for 2 fucking years. We're not getting anywhere. I'm going to send you some paper.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's...
Yeah,
I don't
all
think
that is not public information,
right,
so
and it's
we have
never
no
going to
idea.
be. But you know that happened. It isn't like they're just like,
Yeah,
you know what I just noticed in this contract?
Yeah, this is not out of the blue.
You know what else I think?
Not a chance.
If this wasn't Black Widow, but it was
Thor. Name one.
Maybe I'm trying to name like Black Panther, or well, I guess not Black Panther because of those circumstances, but like a character that's moving forward in these next Marvel films.
Yes.
Like
If this was
I
a
would
Wonder
imagine,
Woman.
I would imagine that Falcon is going to move forward in this next
Yeah.
arc of. If it was a Falcon or a Winter Soldier, they probably would have made concessions because they have to have that person around,
Yeah.
and they had to make them happy
Yeah.
for the next. They
But
don't have to
this
do
is-
shit. This is probably it for her. They
Yeah.
don't have to do shit, and they're acting like it,
Yeah. Which is shitty.
which is shitty.
But I mean,
Surprise
is it
Disney?
really a big surprise
No.
from Disney?
No.
I'm not surprised Disney tried to do this.
And then lastly, the third trailer. Not that this is clever, but I did like it for some reason. 3 trailers for 10 rings. The third trailer for Shang-Chi. It's out.
I'm sold on the movie after whichever the last
second-
trailer.
The
I
second
saw.
one is the
Yeah.
one. That's
Yeah.
the best
Yeah.
one.
They got me in my agent feels.
This one is fine.
I can't say that, but I think I understand what you mean.
This is the one. The third one is the one where Aquafina's like, "Where's your shirt go?"
Yeah. This one seems general audience,
Yeah.
fluffy. It was going to be fun. There's going to be kicks. Come see the fun and kicks. Is what it. Is
Yeah.
what it, you know what I mean?
The second trailer is definitely the best of the 3.
Yeah, I agree. And then we have questions. Lots and lots.
Yeah, questions we got answers.
Yeah, hopefully. Gears that grind. This is from it's from Gears That Grind. Hello again, Power Rangers.
Hate it.
Love it. 40-year-olds with attitude. Just want to say thank you for answering my questions from last month. It really made my week, and also sorry for it sounding like the first draft of an essay. He's got more questions. So, 1, I recently bought a Siege Impactor just because. It had been a while since I picked up a new Transformer, opened it, transformed it a few times, set it down, felt nothing. That feeling of collecting Transformers seems to have faded away or just subsided for the time being. Have you guys ever had a similar moment before?
Yep.
I mean, yes.
And then he sells it all.
Coming soon.
I don't know. Like, I think that I think that one of the, and I'm not assuming what this gentleman is doing, but I do find myself when I bump into people that are just, I do Transformers, only Transformers and Transformers only, or I see the same thing with Star Wars, that they tend to get, I think, more burnt out. I think that I don't get that feeling personally a whole lot is because, like, yeah, if I get this Transformer and it's not 100% what I want it to be, you know, the next day I got a fucking statue coming that gives me something. And the next week I got a Play Arts Kai and that gives me a little something different, or a Hot Toys, or a Thundercat, or you know what I mean? Like, and it's like I don't get burned out because I got 30 different fuses that are being lit instead of just one. I think. Anybody else have anything on that one?
I mean, you guys know how I roll. I'm very cyclical in my stuff, and it comes and it goes.
Not with, two things. Not with franchises in general, but like with action figures. I don't remember pinpoint exact moment, but I remember there was a time when after I started getting statues, and when I picked up an action figure, I'm like, this is fucking dumb. I don't want this anymore. Yeah. And then I looked at all the action figures I have. And then also Deadpool. That was one point. I'm like, I don't like you anymore. And
I think I can find that same thing with, like, in a way, if I were to relate it all to that, it would be with, like, 3 3/4. Like,
okay.
Like my 3 3/4 is probably like, it's super meaningful to me on one hand, and on the other hand, it's tainted because of how much of a pain in the dick it is. And I'm nowhere near a completionist with it now. Like
you were.
Yeah.
You have so much.
Yeah, but now I'm like, I have to really want, or it has to be something completely new and unique, not like a new clone with it has a red hat instead of a blue one, or, you know what I mean? It's got to be something completely different.
That's the whole strategy.
I jump all around, so the only thing I can think of is just the heartbreak of opening the NECA Batman Predator set that was this SDCC exclusive, and the Batman falling apart in my hands in like 10
Non-durable goods.
Non-durable goods.
And that's the only way to get that image from the Adam Kubert artwork, because no one else has made that armor suit for Batman, and it just fell apart.
Well, I'll tell you, like, I can get discouraged, like, you know, like I've had these breaks with all these statues, and when you're spending that amount of money, it can be like, why am I doing this to myself? You know, but still, it's like, I'm so forgiving. I don't get credit for it, but like, I'll get so mad about something breaking, and then my wife will glue it together, and 24 hours later, I'm over it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, anyway, he said on a other side of the coin, I'll never forget that moment I picked up my first Gunpla. So he's not just a Transformers guy. He said the feeling of opening it up, building it, getting it at all different kinds of poses, I couldn't put it down. I knew this was the new thing. What were you guys? This is it. My new favorite line, hobby.
I jump around too much for.
I can tell you, for me, it was Figuarts. Like, when I picked up a Figuarts for the first time, I think it was Darth Maul was my first Figuarts figure, and I was just like, this kind of moves the way I've always wanted it to move. It looks the way I always wanted it to look. It has like an elegance and like a natural, like, you couldn't put that thing in a pose where it seemed awkward. It just always seemed like something a human might do, and that was like the big change in game for me. Anybody else have anything else aside from the?
I know.
Yeah, what you got?
Quarter scale darkness changed my life.
Yeah.
Like, I was getting statues here and there, but that was to be like one expensive piece. That's it. I'm just getting one quarter scale, and then I'm like, I'm done.
She is a beaut.
That thing is amazing.
Same thing your girl said.
Life.
Like when Krista just did her walk through the house the other day, I saw most of that video. I was like, wow, I forgot that's fucking amazing. That and your guts, and I'm not even into Berserk. Yeah, but
that darkness is fantastic. I'll also say, like, it sounds like to me like you know, like I wonder if, like he said, like he had the impactor, transformed it a few times, had a Gunpla putting it together. Like I wonder if the like model element to him, and the transformation not being a model element but being interactive element is perhaps more important to him than he maybe realizes.
I mean, what got me out of Transformers was like the third-party wars, and then IDW killed it.
Yeah.
When IDW died, it killed the community. But I was getting tired of the third-party wars where I'm like, dude, I just want a set of Transformers that all look like the same line.
Yeah.
And then you got 3 fucking of every
seven,
fucking
seven
thing.
Springers.
Yeah.
Well, like I had
10 Devastators.
something else I should have mentioned. This guy Jeff C. He's been like a long time viewer of. He lives in Colorado, but he's got folks that live out here, and he comes once a year, and then sees if he can swing by and hangs out for like an afternoon. And he came by, and we talked. We had a good conversation, like a lot of good conversations. But he was one of the things he kept saying was like, or one of the things we had a bit of a conversation about was he was like, maybe you should transform them more. And I'm gonna be like, that's not my thing.
Yeah,
It
is for some people.
Which is understandable and fine.
You don't ever really touch anything after it's got its place.
No, I usually
but you're not going to grab one of these IEW figures and fuck with it. Just
no, but I do usually repose once a year when I do my dusting. But like now, sometimes I'm like, man, I'm not happy with that pose. I want to go back to the old one. But then sometimes I'm like, because I'm just used to looking at it, so I go through the whole thing with that too. But like that, like I would buy these fucking things if they didn't transform. I'd probably be happier with them because they'd probably look better.
They would look better, and they would probably last longer.
yeah. Especially under my fucking whatever. So
monkey paws.
Correct. Meat hands.
Sausage fingers.
As someone who lives in a not so big city, it's often hard to really find things for my hobby, whether it be Gundam models or figures in general. I have one shop in town. I have one shop in town for my hobby, and I have to either drive an hour out of town to get to another one or 2 hours to get to what they call the heaven. Where do you think are some of the better places statewide to live in for people who collect?
I forget people still buy stuff.
I mean, honestly,
the
like,
best place to buy stuff is online with best deals.
But if you want LA or New York, or
just like everything else,
that's it. I mean, I just off the top of my head, I can think of 6 or 7 places. Well, I guess they're still.
But New York not even anymore. You're talking about like gunplay. When I was a kid, I went to like Chinatown. Like they had like toy store that seemed like it's transplanted from Hong Kong, and they had all that stuff. Like it's not even that. It's not the same anymore. The last time I went, which was a couple years back.
But what's that place though? The place up there,
Image Anime.
Yeah.
Well, they've actually gone out of.
Oh, have they really?
They're online only.
See? Really?
It's like
and that was just 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Unless people love you, like unless you provide some kind of service or like a place where people hang out, there's no reason. There's no way you can outprice online sales.
Right.
Nowadays.
Right.
And a brick and mortar store. You have to pay rent, you have to pay overhead, like
but
why
there's
not just make it an online store?
And I agree. But there is some like I still enjoy going into the store and looking, what I mean? Like,
I go in.
Even like at that place when we went in, like I had everything already, but had they had something I would have liked the experience to it's just like at a con. I enjoy buying shit at cons.
But you pre-order everything that you want, right? Nowadays.
Well, because you're afraid you won't get it on the back end.
Yeah. But there is some gray area too. And sometimes I've had stuff pre-ordered and seen it at a con and bought it at the con and canceled my pre-order.
I've done that too, and I've bought stuff at cons that I've looked at online, and well, shit, it's right here in front of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've had the opposite too, where I've pre-ordered it and then I saw it in person. I'm like, I don't want this.
Yeah, you're like, oh wait, let me cancel that.
And then he said, lastly, as a follow-up to last week's question, what is the longest you drove or went out of your way for a figure?
Ooh.
I can't say very far at all.
I haven't.
Never.
But I did go to New York for a record one time. But if I were to travel back in time to 1995, 96 and explain to you that there's no way that I would have ever fathomed that all music would be pretty much accessible to my fingers, like you either get it or you don't.
Yeah, it's completely different times.
And I sat outside of a radio station for fucking, I think, 10, 12 hours.
Wow.
Until a guy finally felt sorry enough for me where he gave me the record.
Damn.
Nice.
I'm trying to think. That's a
cool story. I mean, I've gone.
I still have it.
I
still have it.
Yeah, I waited in.
That's like
I waited in line at cons.
Yeah, I waited in line at cons for ridiculous amounts of time.
I mean, not ridiculous amount.
I've only waited in line
sketches.
at cons for Bobby.
Yeah,
I waited in line for David Finch like pretty much for 12 hours, just because he draws as well as signs.
Yeah, so. yeah. I waited in line for plenty of people. Okay, and Ibuka. Howdy, NRR crew. Been a while. Other than being busy like prostitute on Valentine's Day, I also took a bit of media break and fully caught up. Said, question today is, has there ever been a person in your life where the vibe was all wrong with them, but you didn't know why or have any proof? A while back, we got a new neighbor, and from jump, I knew these guys were bad news. Oh, bad mood, put you in a bad... Okay. But I couldn't tell you why. Everyone was saying I was mentally ridiculous, as they just seemed like nice guys and mind their own business. Cut to a few months later, we had moved from this neighborhood, and I needed to head back to the old house to get a Transformer accessory in the dead of night or some shit. I entered the driveway, turned off the car, look to my right, and there I see the neighbors, card-carrying members of the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, my God.
Not to be confused with the new rapper Blue Bucks Klan. Got the white robes. Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
Dude, that is nuts.
And I guess we're about to have a cross-burning meeting. Now, as you could probably guess, just by my name and not the type of person the Klan would want to dap up. And I was about to get lynched on account of a matrix of leadership.
Oh, my God.
I turned the car back on and headed straight out. But I do be like that deep. It do be like that deep in the heart of Texas.
Wow.
That's all I got for today. Thanks for the laughs. I've been meaning to draw some Power Rangers art. Okay, good. I think that I've got plenty of intuition where something wasn't right. You know, like, this ain't right.
I can think of something. I mean, something that's happened in the community where I didn't get a good vibe and it didn't end well.
Yeah.
Not gonna put anything out there, but if you know, you know.
Oh, you can tell me afterwards. Even though I still won't know because I don't know anybody in the community.
Yeah.
But no, I get bad vibes from people, but I can't remember times when I've gotten the proof later on.
Yeah.
I just usually get it. I just stay away.
Yeah,
if I have a bad vibe from people,
I usually stay away too. I bet, man. It's just, like I do listen to that shit. I do listen to that shit.
When
like
someone said they have a vibe,
like when my vibe is talking to me.
Yeah,
you know,
you
and
won't ignore it.
it's like, hey, watch this guy, and I go hyper alert. I think that like I'm more for me. What I'm more like vulnerable to is when I gotta watch somebody I didn't think I had to watch.
Oh,
I mean, that's always.
Yeah. I mean, then you feel betrayed.
That's like that's like an Achilles heel for me, and like, but I've been trying to take measures for that as well, moving on in the future. But like, where I should have seen this, like I should have seen this coming, and I didn't, and it fucking happens. It has happened. It's been one of those things where like you start thinking about like, fuck, how do you keep ending up in this situation? Mm-hmm. And then like, oh, because you keep putting yourself in this situation, you know. And I had one just recently that I won't go into too much, but like had a conversation with a guy, had a joke with him about something. Like, all right, I'm talking to you, and you and I both know Chris. Mm-hmm. And I made a joke about Chris, and you went right and told him. And it wasn't even like I'll tell you. So like this guy Danger I had a falling out with, right? Like it's whatever. But like I don't hate him at all. I don't mean him any ill will. I wish him the best. And I was talking to Troy, and I made some joke like just first time catching up in forever, you know. And it was something like harmless, like where he was like
that tall bald motherfucker Chris or something.
No. But I was like, I was like, man, I'm like, I've been hitting you up for fucking months now. I haven't heard back from you. You're probably calling Danger all the time. Just that.
Yeah.
Like it's not a jab at Danger. It's more of a jab with him. Like, you know him and I had a falling out, and I know you guys are still cool. I'm kind of letting you know that I don't care about that, and also making a joke about it.
Right.
And he went right to him. And then like I had to hear about it, some other, and I was just like, wow. Damn, like, why didn't I see that? Why didn't I see that? Like, but like, so shit like that is more of my issue. Like, and a lot of times it's people that I've been around for a long ass time, and
you let your guard down.
Yeah. That's more so where I get it, and it always like, it's just like if you look at how I handle Skullfest. Like, come on in. Mm-hmm. Yep. Come on in. I'm very open. Like and a lot of times, as long as I don't have a bad read on you to begin with, a lot of times, I put myself in it. I make myself vulnerable. I open myself up for that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I like, and then I don't want to get too deep into this because we're 2 hours in, but like something I've been thinking about with myself recently is like when you know how they say like the what they say, like your words become your actions or whatever. Your thoughts become your words become your actions, whatever. Like I'll say shit and I'll joke and I'll put things in a perspective that because I'm comfortable putting myself in a bad light, like I'm, whatever, lazy, selfish, whatever the case may be, that shit ends up becoming fact. And then it usually takes somebody else to remind me, like, which has happened recently, where I'll be like, man, maybe I didn't, maybe I weren't fair. What if I wasn't fair to this one or that one and somebody, whoa, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? And what about this? And I'm like, fuck, I forget because I'm less comfortable talking about that. I'm less comfortable talking about what I do for somebody. I'm much more comfortable talking about what somebody has done for me and how appreciative I am of it.
Right.
Like, So anyway, something else I've been thinking about recently that also puts me into that space sometimes. You got anything, Phil?
No, I mean, kind of like Joe, if I get a bad read on somebody, we'll just avoid them if I can.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to think if I really because sometimes I won't catch a bad read. I'll just catch we're just not on the same page. Read the only thing like at a con or something, I'll meet somebody and I'm like, yeah, this is a cool dude. But the only thing that this dude and I have in common is that we both like Transformers third party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is cool for this handshake, but it's not cool to spend
Any
time.
amount of time
Yeah.
because you don't want to talk about third-party Transformers.
All the time.
Right.
Correct. God bless. So this is from Caleb. He says, "How's it going, Power Rangers?"
God damn it!
It's taking off, man.
He says,
Tasty tank.
he loves him. He loves MMPR. He's a '90s kid, so he said he couldn't be
I
happier
like
with
Power
me.
Rangers.
So to start, Bobby, you opened episodes 308 by mentioning collectors completely emptying their shelves to start over. I just want to say that I've done that multiple times throughout my 3 to 4 years of collecting journey. And I do have to say that my collection is a bit more modest, as I have somewhat between 200 to 250 Transformers. But about every 6 months or so, I get the itch to completely redo my display. I'll clear out, put it all back. He says, I don't know how it is for others, but for me, it's therapeutic. Finds it enjoying, et cetera, et cetera. So for the question, so that he's just co-signing. So anybody out there that wants to do that, he co-signs it. Caleb and I are on the same page. So now for a question. I have a few hobbies I enjoy in my free time, but I also have a limited budget, so I don't get to enjoy these hobbies as freely as I would like, and sometimes wonder if it would be worth it to give up one or two. If for some reason you had to give up one of your hobbies for budgetary reasons, what would it be? For me, I think I would give up music. And then he goes, I used to love recording his own music in the past, but it's become stuff with new guitars, et cetera. Things getting too expensive.
I mean, I've left a lot of stuff behind already.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like I have too. I don't know. I mean, I left
cosplay behind. That's too much time, too much effort, too much money.
Yeah, I used to buy a lot of movies. I got it's like the joke here, right? Like,
Just physical media.
Yeah, and now I only buy them if it's like something that I want for the collection. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, because you don't have to buy them to watch them anymore.
yeah,
Or
So
you
easy.
buy them and you still don't use them to watch them.
yeah.
That's also true.
Yeah, I would say I think I'm more of a rotation person. Like I'll put something on pause for a while and then like not unlike your drawing.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll put something on pause for a while, give myself a break from it for a year maybe, and then pick it back up again and fuck with it.
Yeah, I do that, and I would do I did 40Ks for like 3 years before I went to this drawing thing. Before I did 40K, I did Gundam for a while, and then before that it was 40K again. So yeah, it's like a rotation thing.
And I think soon I'm gonna have to, soon I'm gonna be out of dioramas. So,
Start
Hate to hear it.
start redoing the old ones.
yeah. Any of you guys got any?
Probably Lucy Comics. I'm probably just about done with that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get what I used to get. I still get a few here and there, but now I'm probably going to have to be done with that soon. Now that I'm moving and my budget's going to change. So
I mean, you know how I roll, so.
Fluid.
Jars everywhere.
He said,
of fluid. 'Cause I'm a fluid collector.
God,
he said,
By the way, guys, I need to see you after you're done. Brought some jars. Fill them as you'd like.
Side question, Bobby, since you collect multiple lines across multiple fandoms, would you give up collecting a certain line if your budget was cut back? If so, what?
I know Storm Collectibles.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, not for nothing, Storm Collectibles Injustice would probably be the first thing I'd let go. It'd probably be the first thing I'd let go. And that would be where I would start.
You have let go of playouts, Kai.
I have, but so much like Malcolm X asked about Plymouth Rock, Joe.
Wow.
Did we land on Plymouth Rock, or did Plymouth Rock landed on us? I'm not sure if I let go of players or if players let go of me.
Yep, that's very fair.
Because they stopped doing shit of Marvel DC stuff, which is the stuff that I was getting.
And start doing shit I like.
Yeah, but they always kind of did some. But I like a lot of those designs. Like I told you, like those near designs. I like. Yeah,
The fact that Playhouse only does the human figures, I want some creatures from Resident Evil. I would be.
well, they did Venom.
No, but they did all the human characters from Resident Evil, and they won't do any creatures.
Gotcha.
Because I was going to spend $150 on a fucking zombie.
Yeah,
No, but they could do like the liquor and the.
Love the liquor.
He said that's all he's got. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Much love. And he is Robot Photo 84 on Twitter if you're looking to follow him. And I love his handle on TFW. Waffle House 91, but it's spelled WAFLHAUS 91. It's very German Waffle House. All right, so Ibuka wrote in again because we've been absent for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He has no idea how. He says, first of all, I have no idea how you will get my emails, seeing as you guys have a weird rescheduling schedule, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so he said, during the end of the episode, you were asking about if the reason why some shows are longer or shorter was a money thing, and at least in the animation industry, the only one I can speak of, as I'm the one he's entering. That is usually the case. Cartoons are super hard and super expensive to make. The average 11-minute cartoon episode costs $1 to $2 million and about a year and a half to make. The network or streaming execs don't want to sink that much time and cash into something that won't pay off for them. So to make them feel more comfortable, they add and remove certain plots and characters and seasons and whatnot to make sure the show is worth as much time as it can be. Not to mention things need to get perfectly production-wise, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he said, I hope that made sense. So thank you for that input. Darren... a little over 2 years ago, he wrote in about the podcast that got him through some tough times while his daughter was in the NICU. And they're still doing great. Thanks again. Reason I'm writing today is that I need some reading advice. I've been out of most things nerd for about 2 years now, and I'm wanting to get back into it. The problem is it seems like all I ever do is work. I feel like I've lost the majority of my friends in this time, too, because any free time I've had went to spend with my wife and baby. And at 27, the old ripe age of 27, most of my friends couldn't see themselves getting married, nonetheless having kids. I'm just missing having friends, etc. He was wondering if the dads of the show could give him some advice on how to balance everything. Joe can add in any advice also because of his weight loss, too, because it's another thing that he needs to juggle.
Just check your calories, bro. It's easy.
And he's catching up on the pod.
Well, good news to hear everything's
looking up for you. Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
As far as, dude, you just got to make time for yourself. And if that involves getting up before everybody, and I've said this before, if it involves getting up before the house gets up or staying up after they go to bed, put an hour or two in. Or, that time you spend scrolling through your phone before you go to sleep, we'll add that up for the week, and you probably got a couple hours.
Yeah,
that's how you get that time. You find what you're doing that's probably just complete waste of time and put it towards the focus of your hobbies or whatever.
Yeah.
And as far as reading material goes, there's this trilogy of Star Wars novels. I think I could probably loan them to you. Yeah. And you could call Bobby every night and read him a chapter.
That should be recording.
The last thing that I read that I really enjoyed was that Miracle Man trade that Raul bought me. So I highly recommend that. In terms of juggling time, dude, I one of my main things now is to try to take advantage of every moment. So if I'm gonna work on a diorama, I can work on a diorama and listen to music or listen to a podcast or
double up.
Yeah, I'm rarely doing one thing.
Yeah. So that's
hands busy, but in ears and eyes doing something else.
Yeah. That's a big one for me. But but I have to be somewhat careful.
Round of applause.
I have to be somewhat careful with that shit though, because at the same time, I won't be able to follow certain shows. I got to pick everything wisely. So a documentary, I don't have any problem following along with.
It's mostly audio.
Anyway, yeah. But getting into a show like Bad Batch, I could probably do it with no problem because there's not much in it. But getting into a show that has any sort of depth, or you got to see the eye expressions to really understand what the character's trying to say. Then you got to move accordingly. Joe.
I mean, I don't have any more kids.
Right. What about the tracking?
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry. What? Does that sound bad?
Nope. You said something, Joe. It's just
Tracking.
I mean,
your,
like, I kind of, well, I knew the life, right? And I picked not that life. That's why I don't have kids. Cause like that's not the life I want.
Sure.
So like, if one kid and wife is causing you, time issues, don't have another one for sure. But with weight loss and stuff, like, I mean, you can hit me up on any of the places you can find me. I'm easy to find. Or you can come to our Twitch, twitch.tv/terrible_hime. We talk about fitness on there a lot.
He may better be in this shit, because if I get it's just Tile, I'm gonna be pissed.
But yeah, weight loss is not it's not hard. It's just, it might be tedious to start with. All it involves is getting yourself an app and being accountable for yourself. Because I still do it 8 years later now. I still rely on the app and being accountable for myself to keep in shape.
What app do you use?
MyFitnessPal.com. MyFitnessPal. It's
MyFitnessPal.
free.
I actually use that. I've started doing.
Yeah,
trying again.
That's the only way to know what you're actually eating. People like give you a very vague, I eat a lot, or I eat a little, or whatever it is. But
unless you have a way
fucking
to
number
track
for me,
it, yeah.
show me the numbers, Bobby.
Yeah, not
Like,
dude.
unless you have the
Talk to me.
fucking numbers, like, you don't know.
Yeah. Laura uses one too. Noom.
Yeah. That's a
That's a pay. You have
It's
to
like
pay
a
for that one.
program.
Yeah, it's like a
It
program.
looks
'Cause there's like
interesting.
classes and shit. That you
seems
can,
like it's like a different mindset on things.
But I don't know. I would have to have her talk about it. I don't know how much luck she tracks and she enters in her numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they they did say at first to have her at 1,800.
See, my advice is don't use pre-made formulas and don't let people tell you what your calories are, because at a point, it depends on where we're in the fitness. Me and Krista are the exact same height, 5'8", exact same weight. We can both be 150 at the same time, and our calorie intake is completely fucking different to maintain that. So I always suggest to people, if you are serious, you're going to start tracking, don't change how you eat at all for 2 weeks. Log everything, right? Just put every time you eat, log it. Average it out. That's how much you eat. And go use that number from that point on.
Gotcha. That makes sense. All right, Iman, a fandom enraged, he says.
Iman Man.
Iman Man. And he was at the bar with Push Nichols. He says, hello, my friend, mighty nerdin' Power Rangers.
Jesus. Okay. I have to accept that that's the thing now. And I like Power Rangers, so I'm okay with it.
I hope you're all doing well and don't mind some He-Man drama being brought up.
Oh,
there we go.
He said, a friend of mine of 14 years posted that he doesn't understand all the hate, and if he experiences something he doesn't like, he simply keeps it to himself. Yeah. So that's not really me either, to be fair. But first,
you have a podcast. Though.
That's true. First, this man has never kept his opinion to himself. And second, doesn't see the irony in posting this statement for the world to see.
Right.
I replied that I can understand why so many people are upset. The new series kills off the main characters of He-Man. It continues by completely emasculating all male characters and I would argue, what about Man-at-Arms, dude? All male characters and transforms the females into unlikable assholes. See, this is the narrative. Like, this is like this is the baseline that's out there, and that's no disrespect to Iman. That's just like that's what I'm seeing.
What you are seeing. Yeah,
it's the same shit I saw with Raise a Mary Sue and all that shit. If people don't like a product, they are free to express their opinion, 100%. The result of this, and some replies directly at me, is this friend has unfriended me and blocked me on all social media.
That's crazy.
I really don't think I did anything wrong here, but he saw fit to end our relationship. Have you guys ever felt something so stupid? Dealt with something so stupid? Love everything you all do, and hopefully something will come out that everyone loves. Yeah, dude. Star Wars would be the one to do it in the universe that doesn't exist.
I have three things to say. One is, like, the people who post about how people shouldn't post things are hilarious. There's many of them. People who are like, I hate when people vague book. I'm like, you're vague booking right now because obviously someone vague book and you don't like it.
Put them whores out there.
Two is I was unfriended recently over the election. Oh, not recently now.
Yeah.
And stupid because it doesn't matter. And lastly, like it's not. I don't know if it speaks to the individual or the culture that we see what does emasculation mean and why women being portrayed a certain way makes them assholes versus just different. If male character, I haven't seen the show because I've seen when female characters are portrayed how male characters would be, and then people find them distasteful or whatever. I'm like, but it's the same personality. It's just a different gender. That says something more about you than it does about the character.
Yeah.
I think
That you're, casting, like gender casting people.
I think when I read stuff like this, and not to pick on him, right? But like, there's a lot of people saying the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's a culture. It's maybe a cultural thing.
When I see this sort of thing in my head, I'm like, I'm not seeing the same thing you're seeing,
right?
Because I'm not seeing a bunch of emasculated men in this. Like, I'm actually seeing, some pretty strong male characters as well, and like, I don't know. I don't know why it has to become that. Like, because there's sometimes where I do feel like I see this, what they're talking, like in a certain show where it'll be like all the men like play what's this shit, badminton? Like, they're, you know what I mean? Like all the shows, like all the men play badminton and all the women do MMA, or something. And I'm being ridiculous,
right.
but I feel like I have seen what these people are talking about, but I don't see it in Star Wars, and I don't see it in He-Man.
If I liked the new Masters of the Universe show, does that mean I'm woke?
You should post that as a question on social media.
Yeah, because like I hate how stuff gets politicized into something else. Like, so people said, all right, here's a great example. That Optimus Prime in these new shows, aside from this, before this last season, is emasculated, and Elita 1 becomes a strong character. Now,
there's no genders in Transformers.
I'm not getting into that discussion. I feel like somehow I'll get canceled.
Boobs.
But I will say this.
My boobs are bigger than Krista's.
I think...
Congrats. I don't know what else to say to that.
I think that... Like, just because one, it doesn't necessarily mean the other. I think that Optimus Prime... I don't know if he's emasculated, but I think it's just it's like a word that people use now. They
what does that mean?
It's a catchphrase,
and it's on both sides.
What does
Like,
that
I hear
mean?
equity all the time. On the other side of things, equity. We got to have equity in that.
Like in house?
But
They're not talking about property.
It just becomes the hot button word, right?
Yeah.
So like emasculated, like Optimus Prime is the problem with him in the shows in the first 2 seasons for me is that he can't make a fucking decision. So maybe in that way he's emasculated because my wife can't either. But like, but like, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's not that he's like doesn't have any masculinity. He's definitely a male figure. He's down to go to war. He just doesn't. He's not a great leader. He doesn't know the decisions to make. He doesn't have the answers. Whereas Elita 1 seems to have the answers. So I can kind of see it there. But in this, Man at Arms is fucking awesome. Like and he is only in a few episodes, so I can see that. But like Scareglow is awesome. Like I don't.
There's only a few episodes of this show.
That's true. Also, I don't see the weak men. I guess I see the strong women. I see the strong, but Tila and Evelyn have always been strong women to me. So it doesn't seem like they're changing who those characters are.
I mean, look, you still have the sorceress, who's a woman in peril.
Yeah,
on the other side of that, and you do have strong male and female characters. And I want everybody just to chill the fuck out. It's a goddamn picture show about fucking toys.
But
it's ridiculous.
And once again, this is not an attack on Iman. And if Iman wanted to have a conversation with me one-on-one, I would have it. But this goes back to the Star Wars thing, where like I just have I feel like if you are, and I'm not saying he is, but if one is threatened by strong female characters, and I'm not the woke drum beating guy, but if you are threatened by strong female characters, then it's an insecurity issue that you got to deal with.
I think
on some level.
I think it's
because I'm a man.
Yeah,
and these are strong women. Yeah. But I'll tell you, I'm a man. I'll watch this fucking WNBA and be like, man, I don't play basketball, bitch. I still could beat them. And that's probably sexist. But seeing strong women do their thing and acknowledge what they can do, I don't feel like I can't. They're so much stronger than me, the man, or than the other male contenders. I'm like, or I'll think like, oh yeah, great, this WNBA player, put her in the court of Michael Jordan. I don't feel like just because she's great, I don't feel threatened by it. Like I don't know, man. I'm having a hard time conveying how I feel about it.
But it is the thing because like a majority of the trolls we get on stream, like I am assuming are just insecure males. Like not just us and Krista, but like other strong female streamers get the same kind of troll. Like I think it's because they're strong and have muscles.
And I don't think
and obviously I'm like, bro, like, you obviously don't have any. Like, the people who are like, why are your arms so big? I'm like, to her, I'm like, I'm right next to her. My arms are bigger. Like, what are you trying to say?
Well, and also, my question with that almost would be like, well, why you want to fucking Twitch watching people work out?
That's usually what I say. I'm like, I don't get mad at them. Like, I feel bad for you. You're so bored. You're trolling streams to troll. Like, you're lonely. I feel bad for you, man. Go find some friends.
But I just my thing is like,
but yeah, I think there's a lot of insecure people out there, man. I think that's what it is.
Because I'm a dude that believes in men being men. Mm-hmm. Like I do, like I believe like if you're like, there's a lot of dudes that want to get into their feelings bag and all that, and like I believe there's a time for men to deal with their feelings after the work is done. Like I'm old school in that regard. Like we got shit to do, get it done. I told a friend, I won't drop his name, but he's in the community. He was going through some hard times with family and all sorts of things, and my advice to him was, you don't get to fucking be upset about that right now. You got to get the job done, and when the job is done, you can have your moment and deal with it the way that you got to deal with it. But right now, you got to work. You got to work to get it done. And the payoff to that is you have to deal with this extra stress and this extra bullshit and be the strong rock for your family. But you get to die first, so you don't have to die alone and lonely. So that's the fucking payoff, you know.
Like I'm with that too, but I'm like that with men and women. Women, the same thing. Get your shit done first, and then have feelings.
Yeah, but I'll say like I'm only saying this to say that like, because if I see a woman hurt, it doesn't matter. I want to stop and help. You know what I mean? Where if I see a man, like if I see a woman that's like crying on the street, like just sobbing. Like, I'm going to say, like, from afar, because I don't want to end up on Twitter, I'm going to say, hey, are you okay? Yeah. Are you okay? Do you need help? Mm-hmm. Whereas if I see a man, I'm be like, look at this bum. Like, you know, like, and I'm just being honest. I know it's not a popular thing to say. I'm just being honest. Yep. So this is the same guy who believes that a man should toughen the fuck up. And if you got to cry, you go find some private place where no one will fucking see you. You know, outside of a few extreme situations. I can say that and simultaneously say, I'm 100% okay with seeing a fucking superhero woman from outer space do superhero woman shit. Yep. Doesn't bother me in the least.
Coming from a place where I like a good pegging.
and what a majestic place that also is.
I don't feel emasculated at all.
See? Super secure.
There it is.
Do you do it on all fours?
Sometimes.
See? You're a different breed, bro.
I'm grabbing by the hips.
See, I don't even like it. I don't you know, I got a buddy at work.
I have that in my head now.
Let me say,
you're welcome.
Forever.
I shouldn't say a buddy at work. I have a buddy who I do some work with sometimes.
Yeah.
Not like getting paid professionally in a corporate environment work. And he knows I don't like to have my hips touched. So he goes out of his way to grab my hips. When I'm like screwing something in or I'm putting together something, he'll just come up behind me and grab my hips. And I'm like, the fuck off.
You just told people your weak spot.
Yeah, I know. My shatter point. Hey guys, this is from KFC.
Yo.
He said, hey guys, first, did you know that a lion won't play golf ever? A lion won't play golf ever.
Won't. They don't have hands.
But a tiger would?
Even the fucking right ends now. Come on.
You're right ends. Chris doesn't have to do it anymore.
More importantly, to put an end to this Starscream Soundwave thing, I recently showed two guys I work with photos of the new and old one of these guys. Mm-hmm. One of these guys is kind of into the nerd stuff, and the other is definitely not, but both are aware of my collecting. They both said the newer ones look better, but if they had to choose, it would have been the older molds. I don't even remember this. What? Just thought it was interesting. It must have been from a previous write-in, but do you remember this?
This is from like the Fans Toys Soundwave that's coming out.
Oh, okay. One of these guys, okay, they both said the newer ones look better, but if they had to choose, it would be the older molds. Interesting. I was satisfied with Loki ending being a variant of that Kang. I'm very excited for the future of these movies. Yes. My question is for Pinkerton. Is he a fan of Bullet Club, and what are his latest thoughts on Slammaversary and TNA, NPJW all working together, and how it's going recently?
Well, it's the forbidden door. So just to fill you guys in.
No, it's not.
Not for me. Not for me, it's not.
Slammaversary.
Slammaversary. Love me a Slammaversary. And the forbidden door.
Dude, that's the title. There's your title.
I don't know that I can do this show anymore.
Slammaversary.
Let me enjoy things, Joe. Please, don't ruin things for me.
You ruin shit for me with your goddamn dad jokes. You get this.
I didn't even, Joe, I was leaving it alone this week. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give Joe a break.
That's because we have write-ins.
So the write-ins get it. I think they're asking about TNA Slammaversary and that. So historically, if we all 5 own a wrestling or 4 of us, I don't know who the 5th person
Who's the fifth person? What the
How you doing? If we all 4 owned a wrestling promotion, we would have nothing to do with each other. Right. You would have your show, and you'd have your show, and you'd have your dynamite.
Okay.
The Forbidden Door, not Joe's butthole, has quote unquote been open. So now AEW, Impact, New Japan, AAA from Mexico are all sharing talent across the board, and it's really cool to see that stuff.
Probably good for them too, for the performers.
It is, absolutely. It gives them a ton more opportunity. So in the past, where a guy would be signed to, if you're signed to the WWE, obviously that's all you do. You work for WWE,
right?
But these contracts they're giving these guys now, and gals too. Gals, I said. The Gals World Champion. Hey. You sign with Impact Wrestling, but you're also appearing on AEW, and you're also able to go to Japan and wrestle for New Japan over there. Bullet Club, I think Bullet Club's an NWO style faction. Does that make sense to you guys?
I know from 90s.
Not quite as much as the Invasion, but it's been a lot of the Americans in Japan have been members of Bullet Club. I mean, half the wrestling roster, it seems like. At some point in time, those kind of things like, oh, yeah, Phil, you can join too. Come on, Phil. Here's your T-shirt.
Oh, it's at the pool table.
It's now called the Bullet Club table. We'll get shirts here soon. Bullet Club started in New Japan, and it at one point in time, they were selling the Bullet Club shirts at Hot Topic, and it was the best-selling shirt they had.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, and there's been a ton of people in it over the years, and of course they couldn't necessarily, in WWE they had like BC 4L on their tights, which is Bullet Club for life and stuff like that, or OGBC. Some of them did.
Original Gangster Bullet Club.
Well, like the original guys or whatever. So.
Oh, guys, it's a different time.
Original guys. So it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. There's just so much cool shit going on.
And he said, "How about Nick fucking Gage on AEW? Huh?
Yeah, I mean,
not Nick Cage.
Nick Gage. So
I wish.
So my
yes.
That would be wild.
I've been adjacently involved with the deathmatch scene since the mid 2000s, running the promotions and stuff. My brother-in-law Lane still wrestles death matches. He wrestled in the IWA Mid-South King of the Deathmatch tournament this past weekend, and holy shit, I saw some clips from what he did. But yeah, Nick Gage being on AEW was like, what universe is this? It's just so bizarre. It would be like
Batman showing up on Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, I was thinking of like it'd be like name an image character from Rob Liefeld. It would be like Youngblood showing up.
Bad Rock.
Good one. That's the best one.
It would be like Bad Rock showing up in an episode of the Flash TV show. Gotcha. But nobody watches. You see what I'm saying? I'm just trying to give you an analogy of how ridiculous it seems on the surface, but it was really cool. And I'm glad Deathmatch Wrestling, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm glad that it's getting more eyes on it.
And then he said, Bobby, I purposely put all the acronyms in just to make you read them because I know you hate it.
Nice.
Perfect.
All right, so Joe S. said, "Hey, Nerd Ragers. Hope all is well.
It's
Two
official,
things.
I think, at this point.
Bobby, last episode you said you defended Jar Jar as a prequel defender. Did you latch on to the Jar Jar is really a Sith theory? And if so, what are your thoughts on that? No. And I'm super happy that somebody took that fucking George Lucas idea and put it somewhere that no one will ever see.
Yet.
Secondly, what are y'all's thoughts on the morality of the reverse snap for Endgame? I feel like if it was a short amount of time between snaps, then I'm more on board and agreeable with it than 5 years later. The world has generally recovered from it and people have moved on. Obviously, not everyone has moved on, but I assume the large majority would have. People came back. Where were they snapped from, as shown as the band kids popping back up in the gym during basketball games? or basic game is what he called it. What about the people snapped out in planes, boats, submarines, and the like? I feel like it's reopening new wounds and new trauma for the unsnapped half of the population and offered hope to those left behind that would have been looking for unsnapped family who have died in the unsnapped.
I mean, the premise of...
He said, after 5 years, it seems selfish and morally ambivalent. Thoughts? That's a good point. Keep up the good work, Joe S. P.S. By the time this airs, I'll be promoted to sergeant, so maybe I should start signing as Sergeant Joe. Well, congratulations.
Oh, there you go. Congrats. I mean, was that not basically the premise of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Was these people had built lives in these 5 years, and the snap gets reversed, and all of a sudden, you can't live here anymore because this is my house.
I think that in Spider-Man makes an attempt to address it. However, I also feel like I'm torn. Because I do appreciate that they're trying to address it. And I do appreciate that they're trying to show that, look, this is something that although the day is saved,
it's something you have to deal with.
We still got to deal with it. There is a lasting consequence, even though it's somewhat inconsequential. There is a lasting consequence to it.
Because people are coming back the same age. Like in Spider-Man, the guy... 5 years, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. I mean,
when you're in high school,
15 and 10 is way different than 35 and 30.
I bet NCAA and NBA age qualifications just went out the window in that universe. How old? You're either 14 or you're 19. What are we going to call it, kid?
Right.
But I also think that it's a double-edged sword with me. That snap in Infinity War is one of the most powerful things I think I've seen in film in the last fucking 10 years. However, as soon as Black Panther went away, I knew it was bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
So, it
and
never
Spider-Man.
felt like and Spider-Man.
But
so
no one couldn't argue because of Sony.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Which is why I just defaulted to Black Panther. Because he had just did $1 billion.
Yeah. It's like,
so I knew it was bullshit. So, it never felt real to me in some ways.
Yeah.
Because I was like, look, motherfuckers is coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're coming back, but they're coming back. And then I almost wonder if it would have been better for me to have a couple movies in between. I say that almost to make because it just
lasting consequences.
Yeah, because it just seemed like something that was so powerful, was so undone,
and
just relatively quick for me.
And see how that the superheroes could operate in that space.
Yeah.
And
take a few movies to regather the
hang
stones.
on, guys.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen that yet.
Right.
You're predicting this future like time travel in the fast lore.
So I think
the mythos of
The
Fast and Furious.
mythos of Fast and Furious.
oh my
Yes!
God.
I think it's not a mythos. I think that
Fine, it's a lore.
it's a story. I'm not even going to give you a tale.
An epic.
I think that if I think the fact that something that seemed so big to me ended up feeling so. I think ambivalent's a good word for it, but almost like something that seemed so meaningful ended up seeming so meaningless to me. In such a quick amount of time.
Yeah, because they could never do it because of
Right.
real world. But if they waited 5 in real life years, that would be a fucking amazing.
That I agree. Any thoughts, Phil, before we move on from this one?
I like Joe's idea. I don't know that something like that could happen.
No,
though.
because money.
Yeah, because of money. That would be cool.
All right, I'm going to get my charger real quick. So this is from Anchor. I think this is a new write-in. It seems anyway. So I may have the opportunity soon to start looking for a new house. Aside from the craziness that is part of the real estate market right now,
It's crazy.
this would be his first house that I would actually look forward towards how my collection would fit into the spaces.
Nice.
How we got our current home. My collection was literally about 6 MP Transformers, so it was something where we were not considering when picking a new home. When picking a home. Since then, it's expanded. Even with pruning, including the collection a bit, there's just still much to display properly. On top of the joy working from home this past year has led to the original space being very cramped. So with the new house, one of the things we will be specifically looking for is for space to have for the collection. My question that I think would be helpful to me as I'm looking is, one, specifically look for in a new home for your collection. What would you specifically look for in a new home for your collection? And two, what would you redo with your collection display spaces if you had the opportunity to do so?
Well, Joe and I have basically both done exactly that over the
Yep.
past several years. So
Yeah.
yours better than mine at the moment, at least.
First is nice, spacious, square rooms with minimal windows. So you have wall space. So like, I have the 2 front rooms, which has just one side windows and 3 walls basically to work with. That is mainly the thing for me.
It depends on what kind of display you want to do. I mean, if you're doing floating shelves, and it also depends on how much of the house you're gonna want to display your stuff in. Like my wife recently had a change of heart, and we've been bringing stuff up from the basement. There's all sorts of nerd art in the living room now, and we've got some stuff on display.
Just like the dating show, Change Your Heart. Remember that?
I do remember that.
So you got to take all
was on that.
You got to take all that into consideration, right? Like,
yeah, no, I agree.
And if you've got,
where are you allocated? Like, what's the boundaries? What's the parameters?
Are you relegated to the basement?
Yeah.
Well, and then it comes down to I don't know your situation, but if it's wife, kids, and it's 3 kids, well, the 4-bedroom house versus a 5-bedroom house might not be but so you may get the office. There's an office.
Right.
You just gotta figure out your budget. You got to figure out what you want to accomplish
and furniture,
and then look at what furniture you want to use.
And it's like one of those things. It's like it's the right tool for the right job. Like a fucking quarter scale statue is going to look pretty fucking stupid on a Billy, but an action figure,
prove it.
But
is the Billy going to be able to support that weight?
Prove it.
But the two
we can reinforce it.
The 2 Super 7 Thundercats are going to look pretty dumb in your Magic case. So it's like, or in your Detolf or whatever. Like it's room, space. I for one am a fan of variety. And even
it's the spice of life, Bob.
Even though you have like those 2 rooms that are all Magic case, I don't even view your collection that way. Like your collection that way, because yes, it's 2 rooms. It's all exact the same furniture and everything looks exactly the same. And then you go 10 feet forward and it's a different type of room with different type of furniture displaying different types of things. And you go 10 feet after that and it's different type. You know what I mean? So it's still variety having this being the like it's just, it just makes it more visually interesting to me. And think about growth.
Also, lighting fixture.
Yeah.
Like start off right.
Yeah.
Like, don't have a fucking ceiling fan in there to get something nice and bright-ish.
Yeah.
And I mean, I will say this because I'm backtracking to it right now. Have a plan. Like, plan out what you want to do. And
yeah, Joe and I did it twice.
Yeah.
Yep.
And take advantage of your space.
The next one is from Sanjay. Old Philly in the house. He says, Dear NRR, just when I thought I brought in the reins of my TF collection by selling MPG1 Seasons 3 and 4, few Legends, fewer Mainline, and even fewer IDW, I found myself tempted by Magic Square Prime repaints. Banana Force Red Sharpshooter, Make Toys Acid Storm, etc. I revised and succumbed to some of these recent impulses for better or worse. My questions are, do you have difficulty discerning what is an impulse buy versus a genuine piece that will strengthen your collection, especially when all you can go buy in most cases on online images and videos?
I sit on it.
I do too.
I even if I put things in my cart, I don't.
I'm talking
check
about
out.
buying things. You still talking about buying things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're sitting on these days. I don't know. Yeah. I'll tell you a good example. Just happened recently.
And not being drunk, but
Oh,
not
yeah.
being 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's all good, especially the drunk part, because my wife has got me plenty of times on the drunk part, where she's like,
at least 3, right?
At least three. And ironically not those 3, but it's Joker, Harley, and Wonder Woman. I sat on. There was like as this was expanding, and I kind of got a feel for how this was going to go. This part of my room I'm looking at, this like my DC collection. I was like, man, I have room for more variety. I have room. I can do things I wouldn't normally do. I can buy things I wouldn't normally buy because not everything is being kind of a slave to its own rules in a way. And so one thing I had passed on was Black Manta from your favorite film, Aquaman, from Mafex. And the thing about that design is I think it's a cool design for a movie. I think it works.
It is. Yep.
But I also think it's very close to the comic book representation. Mm-hmm. It's also its own thing, but it's very close. So I already have a Black Manta that's very close. So I back and forth, I went and debated with myself. I said I'm going to sit on it. I sat on it for a couple weeks. I went back to check on it. It was sold out, but I felt okay about it.
Oh, good.
You know what I mean? So like, I think waiting. I was ready to buy it that day, and I think waiting was now. Had it gone the other way, though, it would have been to my detriment. But I do think that waiting and imagining living life without it. Because I think that's part of it. Is you start like, I have to have this.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well then give yourself a chance to not have it, and see if the world in fact will keep spinning.
Right. I end up impulse buying a lot because some of the lines I collect. If you don't buy it, then you're immediately paying double retail.
Yeah,
so I just go ahead.
Zivio.
I just go ahead and get it. And
The good news is with most of that shit, then with when it's that vibe, you can usually get your money.
Oh,
back.
absolutely. Yeah. That's the thing. Sometimes it's just like it's something new's going up. It's limited. Click buy. When it comes, I guess I'll figure out if I like it or not because you don't have time to even look at the pictures.
He said, is there any gray area? At times I feel I need to see the actual piece of my collection. I've been both surprisingly satisfied and disappointed at these moments. Yeah, I think so. Like, I've bought some stuff that I'm like a lot of this Supergirl shit that I ended up buying. I kind of bought it because I had some extra money and I just wanted to spend some money.
Yep.
And then I got it and I was super happy with it. Super happy with it. Now, I've also had it obviously go the other way. But usually I will say, I feel like I know. In my heart, I know when I don't want something or I don't really want something. You know, that Hot Toys Boba Fett is like the one I always go back to. Like, I know I didn't want it, but I started feeling like just from the conversation and pressure, like, you're not a real fan. And, you know, like, and I'm like,
Tiger Tracks.
Yeah, and it's not that I ever thought for a second that I wasn't a real fan because I didn't have it, but I started thinking to myself, like, fuck, is this character so pivotal that I am going to feel like I missed out on something if I don't get it? And I got it, and I have it, and I don't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
And I knew. You know, I went against my own judgment. So once again, I would say trust your intuition a good bit. Anybody have any on that?
No.
And then the last one, any strategies you've knowingly or unknowingly developed to resist impulse buying? I think sit with it. It's been mine. As like the moment that you have the impulse, give yourself 48 hours. Yeah. Unless it's something that's a super hot thing, but just know if it's a super hot thing, you can sell it.
Right.
And then our last one from Paul C.
We legit caught up on questions.
Yep.
Nice.
Wow. How
Like 3
fitting.
weeks.
Yeah.
Given the time, I have a few questions regarding the Olympics. Do you guys catch Olympic fever every 4 years? We'll go around.
No.
No.
I enjoy watching it, but I wouldn't say it's fever.
I'll say no also. If so, what event? So this one's for you, Chris.
Okay.
If so, what event sports do you like to watch?
My wife enjoys the swimming, and I enjoy watching it with her.
Girls volleyball would be my answer.
I like watching the volleyball, the gymnastics.
Gymnastics.
And listen, I know
Gymnastics
Paul
is
is a huge fan of gymnastics. He wrote a very, very nice. I can't believe I actually read the whole thing. It's kind of like that. I couldn't believe I watched that video. Paul wrote, I promise you, it's 1,000 words about Simone Biles.
Oh, really?
What was happening? Yeah, very touching.
on Facebook, yeah.
Very, very well
long.
done, Paul.
Huh. It's a mental health. It's a mental.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And,
She just got a bronze, like yesterday.
She did. She decided to.
Yeah, when she came back, yeah.
So, and I won't go into that, but it's Paul did a great job really explaining, some of the reasons that common Joe wouldn't understand that. Not you, but I'm trying to think. I like watching the track and field stuff. I was watching hammer throw. You know what that one is? You got it's like the ball on the string and they spin around and throw it. And it lands and they measure it. So after they measure it, they put it in an RC truck, and the RC truck takes it back to wherever it goes.
I will
Isn't
say
that cool?
That's cool.
that like once again going back, like I can enjoy sports when there's the performance element to it. So I just saw something recently. Somebody showed me about I think it was an Olympian. He's like the fastest man on earth or something. He was he's got a commercial now
Usain
for
Bolt.
like Spirit Airlines or some
It's
shit.
probably Usain Bolt.
I think it was. Yes, and his last name was Bolt because I remember saying to the guy, "How fitting."
Yeah.
But
He retired.
dude, they showed me a video. He's running so fast.
He's like waving at him.
He looked back at him.
Yeah.
And like for me, I'm like, okay, I like that. Like that's the shit I like.
It's some sauce.
Yeah.
characters in there.
Anyway, but yeah, he said, has the lack of crowds damaged your enjoyment at all this year, or are you just excited either way? And excited being a relative term.
I mean, I jokingly will say we'll be watching, gymnastics, and when the Simone Biles thing happened, I said something just totally joking to make sure I put that out there that, well, nobody likes this shit. Ain't nobody in the crowd.
But has it affected your enjoyment of it at all?
No. Listen, I've been watching wrestling with no crowd for a year now, so.
I told you what my only beef was with the NBA when they added the crowd. I was like, you're going to take
the digital crowd?
The fucking one time that we could actually hear these guys talking shit to each other, and we're not going to show that?
You don't want to hear that.
I do.
Let me say that different. They don't want you to hear that.
Correct.
I will say that wrestling having crowds back, oh my God, it's a game changer. I mean, you don't realize how much, because we'd gotten so used to hearing, the smattering of people, but 14,000 people popping for somebody. Oh, it's so fucking great to hear that.
That's why they used to put laugh track into fucking things.
Sure.
One of the things that's so funny to me in music, once again, is in crowds, because she was at Rolling Loud, is this girl, Coyle Ray. So she's Ben Zeno. Do you remember Ben Zeno?
Oh, yeah.
So she's Ben Zeno's daughter. And like every time they film her performing, none of the crowd is involved at all. Like it doesn't matter what venue, it's kind of become a thing now. Where like any time she's performing over the course of years, they just shoot to the crowd, and the crowd's like this.
Is she any good? Is she a rapper?
She's a rapper. No, she's not any good.
Okay.
I admire her
tenacity
and determination.
Yeah.
Now, the most important questions. If today's Olympics were competed in any way of the OG Olympics, naked, what would be the best event, summer and winter? Please, let's pretend weather has no bearing on the nakedness. You can determine the meaning of best, funniest, floppiest, sexiest, etc. Paul C.
Oh, how funny.
Figure skating.
Yeah,
Pairs figure skating.
Let me think.
Those blades. So close. I think the 4-man bobsled would be quite cool runnings has a whole nother meaning then.
I mean,
just like fucking any of the running.
Actually, you know what? I want to see
the male running.
I want to see bobsled is pretty good.
I want to see
bobsled. That's a perfect answer.
I want to see the fat Canadian dudes that do the one where they've got the little
stick.
Oh, they're doing the broom shit.
Yeah.
I want to see curling naked just to see these big old burly dudes.
I feel like I need to know more about the Olympics and what's involved, but as of right now, I'm going to co-sign the bobsled.
Your Greco-Roman wrestling.
Oh, see, I don't know. I don't know. I think the diving nude would be an interesting exploration of the slow-mo button just to see where things go.
Yeah. I don't. What else? Because there's some weird ones.
Well, there's
like the main shit you
BB
always
guns.
Yeah.
Like I saw a girl that was shooting a BB gun, won a gold medal the other day.
There's skateboarding now.
There's skateboarding. There's surfing. Mm-hmm. What else is the BMX
boxing,
bike?
Taekwondo,
bikes. Yeah.
Sumo maybe. Not sure.
I don't know if sumo's in there or not. I don't know. They keep adding stuff every year.
Yeah, sometimes it's too much. What was the original? It was probably like 6 things these guys did.
There's a marathon, triathlon, and like
cooking
naked.
Yeah.
If you're around like hot grease.
Oh, yeah.
Just to see.
Hey, Miss Bacon's good. My dick's sore.
You're so tall.
Yeah.
And
your dick's right by the fucking fire.
Why are you wearing an apron? Now you know.
I'm just checking the temperature.
No, thank you.
All right, we can get out of here. Shout out to the Cool Table. If you listen to this and you have a podcast, you're part of it too.
See?
And yeah, very inclusive.
It's for everybody.
And then shout out to everybody. Raul on Instagram. Raul had an idea. Well, he suggested to me like to do something on Discord for Patreon. My problem is I don't know what that means.
So Discord's
chat server.
I think this one could help you with it more than me.
So I just had to find out like what would be of value. So it's more so to any Patreon listeners, like if there's something that you'd like to see out of that,
organized chat more than anything.
We have movie day like twice a week because of that. You can all watch and be in voice chat at the same time, or we mute ourselves and just chat together while we watch a movie.
I feel like I can't watch the movie and chat.
That will be a movie that you've probably seen already
1,000 times.
Exactly,
Yeah,
like we do with
True Romance.
Street Fighter.
True Romance. I feel like no one else has seen that 1,000.
No.
And just access, is having access to you,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. I mean, I'm down to do something. I almost
You just need to have a Discord server.
because a lot of these guys, they're not like necessarily like live on the East Coast and come to the Realm functions or whatever.
right.
So like a lot of them look forward to like the Zoom meetings where they can,
you do those regularly, right?
yeah, once a month where they can chat.
Discord is easier.
So I wonder if I could set something. Well, I wonder if I could set something up with them where they could have it. It's almost like a group chat for them.
Yeah, that's Discord.
You know, then they could chat all they want. You know what I mean? Like,
That is-
especially the folks that don't have people to really
So-
talk to about it.
Start a server.
Yeah,
Bobby Scopely server.
yeah.
And also, we play D&D on it. Like, it's very easy. It's an app you log in and you can just turn on your camera and microphone anytime in a specific channel and anyone can join you.
But it mine had to be private though, because only for to be Ibabe Ifoscole.
I mean, I think there are. You can't. No, it's very.
It's like a private link. Again,
Exactly. No, it depends on you how much effort you're willing to involve yourself with. Like, there's a lot of things you can Discord. You can have. It's hard to explain. You have multiple channels. It's like.
Why don't you just show him after we get done?
Yes. I'll just show you what Discord is.
I didn't understand.
I've used it before.
I didn't understand until somebody
You
showed
probably
me.
didn't use it to your full capability.
No,
You can have your own emotes.
No, I basically used it to have a conversation with a guy, and he didn't have Skype. So he's like, "Can you get Discord?" And I was like, "Sure."
I'm mainly on Discord now. Like, I only have Messenger for my old trash friends.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Sorry, it's the only contact I have with Joe.
So let me ask you this:
I'm old trash.
What's usually your go-to social media platform nowadays?
Only
Twitch.
Instagram.
Yeah, only Instagram.
Does Twitch count as social media? Because
I think so.
I see it as
I think so, but that I think so.
It's as an audience thing. Like, I watch YouTube,
Okay,
I
alright.
watch
Yeah,
Twitch.
yes,
It might be
okay.
interactive, but like, I don't count it as social media.
Okay.
I mean, Twitter and Facebook.
I mean, well, you know, I like my Facebook groups.
No, you do like your Facebook groups.
Facebook and Instagram probably split about 50-50.
Mine is Instagram and Reddit, probably split about 50-50.
I read a lot of. I don't participate on. Reddit
No, I don't
at
participate
all.
either, but I lurk. I'm in every shadow. You never know where I'm going to pop up. It's never going to be in Transformers. I can tell you that. Like it's like my Reddit has become like my oasis from all of this. It's like where I can go to like I'm interested in like because there's like a DC movies news like leaks and all that, but I've purposefully not joined any of it.
I
Like
thought
I
you
don't
went to Reddit for Star Wars leaks.
used to got changed my whole format. Got out of that. I'm only on Reddit. I deal with like music stuff.
Bailey J.
No. All my sex stuff is on Instagram also. The
Not OnlyFans.
except for I have a separate Reddit. Doesn't matter. But like
Special one.
But like what I get on there to scroll through is all mainly music.
I mean, like, Creepypasta and No Sleep is where Reddit. It's from Reddit. So I was surprised you don't know about those.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think so. Like, I'm in like the
His
UK,
Reddit's very different than yours.
Yeah, I'm in like UK Drill, New York State of Mind, and Chiracology, and then no one's mentioned creepypastas there yet. So
no 3D printing, because that's big on there too.
no, because I got all that shit. All that 3D printing stuff is on Instagram. So like, I'm separating all that shit now. Like if I need
each tool has its own job.
Yes, if I need my nerd fix, I go to Instagram, or my butt fix, and if I need my like music fix, I go to Reddit, and that's pretty much where I spend most of my time.
Okay.
All right, shout out to Raul on Instagram, and shout out to Marilyn Phil, who is here. Thank you for coming by, Marilyn Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Handles our Twitter.
Good to see.
Shout out to Dante the Destroyer, who handles our Facebook and also has Off the Mats, where you can
podcast.
hear Phil
Loki.
on there recently talking about Loki. And shout out to the gore sensitive folks and all that, even though we haven't done much with that. Still shout out to them. And of course, Esteban, who we must protect at all costs.
Oh, gosh.
And with that,
Flappy labius.
Velvety vagina.
Chase, D-Tank.
tight dick player.